the bachata classes. Yo. You know, a bunch of people in the Dominican Republic just heard you on the stream and they're not happy. You just lost half the class. Classes?
Yeah. I've had people reach out to me, like even my grandson, he's 14.
No, we haven't, but some of the stuff we got cooking up on the Moises side that I really wasn't all in on is like, and the feedback we're getting into the outreach, the types of messages that he gets on the Instagram stuff that we've done so far, attacking that side of it, has really surprised me.
Because all the kids are seeing every drop shipper right now, like, putting on these crazy things and they're all wondering.
Yeah, but the feedback we're getting just from people who reach out and say, hey, this is what we're thinking about doing, check this out on the Fiverr stuff, the TikTok stuff, the Amazon influencer program stuff, and all that he's going to be going all in on, has been very surprising. He is. Yeah, and the first script that he banged out, obviously we needed to go through it, but it was 50 times better than the first one I put out. But he enjoys the process of writing, so it's going to be. That's not. I need something. I know. In case anyone was listening, I was whistling at Andres, just the online seller cruise captain and Shopify extraordinaire. He's also laughing about it behind me. All right. It's a live mic, just so you know. You can talk. You can keep talking, just so you know, before you give away all your trade secrets. He likes to have it right here, so anything he said. Yeah. You know what? If you can send it on the email, because I already have it. Whatever's easier for you, but I have my email open if you can send it there. The Carlos at BluebirdMarketingSolutions.com. Carlos at BluebirdMarketingSolutions.com.
So for example, you sold it in $90 in Amazon. I found in Walmart in $27.
Are we late yet? I hope not.
How many,
On the website,
it's 90 capsules here, how many capsules?
Are you submitting any of your listings to review today?
No, I actually want to send some of my competitors' listings.
One set on their website. Oh,
Okay.
they have $69 on subscription, $89 is a one time.
But they're selling $1 million.
Carlos at That's a great voice. Whose was that? It's a strong voice.
It sounded like James Earl Jones.
Very alpha. That thing was oozing alphaness.
Darth Vader's in the house.
He's back. He's back to the
Darth
dead.
Vader's back.
He's back.
Okay.
Revitalized.
Let me see.
I'm going to go out here for the Wi-Fi.
Hey, Carlos,
It's a different one.
are they writing articles about, is it going to be in the Wall Street Journal?
Yeah, he is. Photos of his house, his setup, I think his family, everything. He's going to be on.
Same line?
Guest,
I think this week, but I'm hoping he comes to the event today and we can just ask him. But
but I don't have password.
Wizards one.
like, guys, when he comes in, if Ramon comes in, we should clap. Or somebody joke and ask him for an autograph.
It's gonna fill it in.
Here, I just shared the. Oh, you got it.
Did that work? Let's see.
Yeah, that was super fast. It's like,
Okay.
Oh wow, my Flip account is getting eyeballs. Okay,
you have to change all those thumbnails, Carlos, because that doesn't look like you anymore.
it doesn't. Looks like some fat dude. Now I'm getting skinnier. Now I'm skinny fat. Okay.
Social browsing history. I can't look at my browsing history.
Where is Ecom Live? Oh. I'm so used to doing this the other way that I need to get a little mirror that pops up and lets me do this side of it, you know? Yeah. Oh, no. I'm on it.
Google Glasses. Monitor, good.
Okay, so I'm gonna go, this should go here.
Browsing history on this, right? Where is it?
I don't know, I've never seen that.
Bro,
I'm sure
I
it's.
can't believe I get here so freaking early and still start late.
Isn't it supposed to start at 1:15?
No, it's supposed to be 1. I do the 1:15 thing for any of the salseros that come.
Mira, Andres, you could be the crowd.
Carlos,
warmer. You could be the crowd
can I
warmer.
send you the links to the Telegram?
Sure. We'll figure it out. All right, looking like a massive turnout today. Woo.
You predicted this.
I did.
Where's the one I was thinking of?
All right, we're gonna get rolling.
What's showing on the screen is the sponsor turnout.
What's showing on the screen is what? Yeah, that's what should be
Or
showing.
was.
That what you see now should be showing.
Yeah.
Let me drop it to 65 real quick because you guys look hot.
Anyone want to any bets that Carlos is not here and take a sip of his coffee at all?
You know what I'm gonna do now anytime you say something like that. Somebody take him on that bet.
I'll send you, yeah.
Oh, Bruce, good call, Bruce.
This is proof that Carlos was anything opposite of what I say.
That shouldn't even be a debatable thing anymore. All right, we're gonna do this. We got a new guy here. What's your name? How long you been part of the group now, Tom?
Norm?
Huh?
I don't know, since back in the old days, what, 4 years?
The old days. No, it's before that. It was before COVID. It was 2025.
Yeah, 2021.
So it has to be at least 6.
Yeah, 2000.
No, it was before COVID.
COVID was what, 2020, right?
Yeah. So it's either 2018 or 2019.
19, yeah, I think 19, yeah, 6 years.
Damn.
Man, I'm trying to find the.
Here we go. Okay. We got some of the hardcore inner circle here. Does anybody here, by the way, not listen to the podcast every now and then? I know acquired should come first. Are you a podcast listener?
Yes.
Do you listen to any of the Wizards of Ecom podcast episodes, English or
Yeah, I
Spanish?
saw the shiny this morning.
You saw anti? Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I tried something totally new there. Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, short, but
Sure. Actually, it was like a very good build because you take 10 minutes, listen to something good, and then you can move forward to.
oh,
anything
okay,
else.
good. Tom, what did you think about this morning's newest episode, Anti-Shiny Object Syndrome?
I didn't watch that one. I was too busy watching the new announcement for the Trump, I guess, backing off on the tariffs for.
Well, so you're putting tariff announcements over listening to the new episode drops?
Kind of need to a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
Sitting home.
But I really want. I thought you were going to bring the lady in that talks about how she does her courses and structures her courses.
Yeah.
That was a really good podcast.
Yeah, she's gonna. We don't have a fixed date. I would imagine it's gonna be like July or August though. By the time that happens,
Yeah, she
I
was
think-
really good about.
I think she's in Brazil now for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the way she walked into like how you test like your course and then start to grow your audience. So it was kind of a training wheels to riding the bike on your own to.
Yeah.
Is the latest one the anti-shiny project?
Yeah. Apparently, it came out this morning. I have I have a publishing debt because during the move I didn't record. It was like a 2-month period. So I'm recording some stuff and I'm just instantly releasing them as they come until I get caught up on what I feel like I owe to my publishing debt, and then it'll go back to just Monday drops. Yeah. Amazon influencer program stuff. I don't know if I know Tom is. I don't know if anybody else is doing it, but sales are strong. I mean, sales are really strong. I don't know why more of you are not talking about it. There was a period of time where everybody was kind of bashing it. I think if something tips in the wrong direction for a couple weeks, a lot of you guys are like hot to jump onto something else. But I didn't go through and look at the analytics, but it feels like almost half of the catalog that was dormant in the sense of not getting sales just randomly turned on. Mind you, a lot of these were things that were not in the top 5. They didn't show they just randomly turned on, and they turned on at once, and sales dramatically picked up across both of our AIP accounts. Still not treating it like a business. I think maybe we have 10 posts in the last
No, I need to
2 months.
jump on that. I need to
10
open my
posts in the
account.
last 2 months, but the fact that this thing could pay my mortgage or Tom's lawn service, it's pretty impressive, right? Little Vizcaya lawn service action over there.
So a couple things. I sent you a Google link for a Google tool that's free. Did you look at it? Probably not. That's okay. But I want to share it with the rest of the group. What it does is it logs into your storefront, and then it goes in and looks at all the creator connection opportunities that are available. So if you've done a product that is a creator connection opportunity, and let's say it's fallen off, it tells you to put it back on. So we found about 14 gigs like that we were like, if you have a couple thousand videos, it's going to take a long time to go through it, but it does it automatically and tells you what products are now back up. Because a lot of these creator connections, they'll put them out for a period of time for a couple of months, and then they'll go dormant, and then they'll put them back up again. And so if you don't know that and you don't track it, you're going to miss out on not just 2 or 3% commission, but sometimes it's 10, 20, or 30% commission that they're putting on. So that could be a reason that that'll help people do it. And I've also noticed that on the Walmart storefront part of things, they're now starting to move along. It's looking very, very similar to an Amazon storefront. So it's where you create your banner. It's actually asking you to create collections. It's actually asks you to tag some products. So I'd encourage everybody to, if they're going to get onto the influencer bandwagon, just start going down there. And what I've done is I've just it's a little clunky. You have to create a little URL link. So what I'll do is I'll send Lisa a link to, I don't know, laundry detergent. And she'll click on that link and she'll buy it with her Walmart account, and it'll trigger, $1 commission or whatever that is. But I'm doing that just because I want, I don't know, maybe whatever matrix is in the Walmart is going to go, oh, if we're going to turn this on, maybe let's turn it on to people that are actually trying to be influencers with this. It's a little bit more robust, I think, than what Amazon has, but you can create posts for your social media right there inside of the influencer storefront that you
You have
have.
to have a product that is sold on the Walmart website to reap these benefits, or can you?
No, you're just an
Could be
influencer.
anything.
Anybody. You're a Walmart creator, so you go in there just as an influencer, and then whatever products you want to create a special URL that has your embedded, influencer. Now I think we made $8.95, but it's just something that kind of like you're on the board. Get on the board, and then start to flesh this out. Because when they turn on the lights, maybe they'll turn on the lights for the first 10,000 people, and you might want to be, first one to market there. That's what I've seen about the
good tip.
influencer stuff. Yeah. So.
Yeah. So everybody here, anyone listening, I know we stay swamped, but the Amazon influencer program stuff's picking up really nice. Some cool news for the Amazon influencer program and TikTok, I guess since we're in the beginner hour, is Moises from the group is going to be launching for those of you that like consuming content in Spanish, will be launching the Wizards of Ecom's first Spanish dedicated YouTube channel. Would love everyone's feedback. Wizards of Ecom obviously is our brand name, but after doing a bunch of research and me losing in a vote, I do have some veto authority, but I'm not using it, it looks like the name of the channel is going to be Magos de Ecom, which is the Spanish version of it. It looks like some bigger YouTube channels that were English first, that know how to play the YouTube game, changed their name to one in Spanish, and that was the logic, and I was confronted with it, and I couldn't shoot it down. But for those of you that like that, I would expect to see the first batch of videos showing up on the YouTube channel within the next 3 weeks, which is really exciting. And then you're going to see a weekly drop on content. What Moises is doing is super impressive, and he's going to be starting with the type of content that is Amazon Influencer Program, TikTok, and some other cool stuff that we've not even released in the group yet that fits that same vein. We don't have, we just have the WOE logo. Oh, Magos de Ecom.
Literally just one graphic and flip that, and flip the W.
Oh my
So
God.
it's if it would be inclusive ecom, and then it just flips, and then miles.
Wow.
That would be perfect.
But the O,
Miles, okay, but still, I don't know, because the O I think is more graphical.
oh, okay, I like that. Yeah, that's.
You can make it a Spanish, Magos of Ecom.
Yeah, even models of ecom, I think it's close enough.
I like it. Some TikTok news, because I know that's something, especially in the beginner hour, but we've, at a beginner level, talking about like beginner brand deals, because I think that's the easiest way for people to make money when you're first starting with TikTok. Erica's pretty much mastered that. Like we're more at the, yeah, we're more at the stage now where it's just like, which I've been kind of warning people against from the beginning is, I don't wish an agency on my enemy nowadays, right? It's a very, very, very complicated thing. There's people involved which have different, your people, external people, a lot of moving parts. I'm very happy with the one that I have. I've invested a lot of like blood, sweat, and tears in it. If I had to do it again, knowing everything that it would have taken to do it, not sure I would have done it. But when you start bolting on more video work, and at the same time you want to improve the quality of the video, there is very real and rapid bottlenecks that you're going to run into. So you want to try to build something that if you get 100 yeses or 100 sales, you're not stressed. You should be a moment of excitement. And if you get 100 brand deals, you're pretty much going to implode. Even if they wanted one, but in a lot of them, a lot of these are wanting something ongoing. We're even getting some of these ones, what was it, take over our entire TikTok account, like the personal one. Like, we love your stuff so much, we want to keep working with you in this regard, but can you just take over? Well, guess what that's called? Social media management. You know what I mean? There's a word for that. It's not influencer or brand deal, it's social media management. And creating UGC videos for someone is called that until you start doing it at scale, and then it's called video production, right? And when you do video production, guess what? You need video editing, equipment, talent, all this stuff here. So this is a fantastic side hustle. It's a fantastic business to complement your real business. It's a fantastic way to fuel your PPC using the house's money. The best way to kill a side hustle is to turn it into a business. Start bringing on processes and staffing and all that. It's an excellent way to kill a business.
Do you know with the whole this equation in TikTok, the TikTok shop, if they are holding new stores for the registration?
I've not seen it. There's a bunch of ways you can do this. There's like loopholes to get in, to be able to get access to commissions or TikTok store links. My goal in doing this is I could pay to get followers and get that. I could do one of these loopholes and just have access to it. But there's something to be said. I've learned this just creating content as a podcaster, blogger, YouTube, all this. There's something to be said about putting in your dues and your reps so that you're improving your craft. So by the time you get to, say, 5,000 or 1,000 or whatever, you're actually ready to make the most of it. If you just out the gate have access to a link, you don't have the skills to really make the money from the link, because you just don't want the link, you want the money. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So the other part of it is we meaning Bluebird or Erica and I, plan on creating trainings 4 people, very similar to those of you that got into Your First Dollar, which I highly recommend you do. I'm working out a deal with Creator Corner, with Creator Circle, and a few other ones to get us some pretty good deals to get in. But if you're working with one of these as a way to get your leads or brands to work with as an influencer, or your reposts, or any of these stuff, you want to be able to level up the quality of, or at least get to like a base level of quality that brands are happy to see you create. We want to create one of those trainings. I already have some verbal yeses from a lot of brands that would be willing to come in at first, and that's without even reaching to brands, you guys here. These are people that are not part of the Wizard. This is either part of the agency or just brands that I've known over the years that I've built up a lot of trust with. And I'm just saying, hey, look, I'm building this thing. It's going to be great. I vouch for it. I want to bring some people in. But I plan on creating one of these trainings. And when someone comes in to do one of these trainings, I'm thinking that a lot of them are going to be someone that's coming in here that wants to do private label but can't afford to bankroll the capital for private label. There may be in the arbitrage wholesale space. And they want to make money. So where was I going with this? I need to be able to show them how to get 5,000 the right way. I don't want to say come in here and here's this black hat tactic for you to game the system. Like I don't want my fingerprints anywhere near that. So that's what we're doing, and that's what Erica's cracking right now. So anyhow, brand deals seems to be mastered at a beginner level. Like we just don't even want any more brand deals, because we'd have to start building out a lot more of like the video production side, which we will at some point, but not interested in hiring a bigger team of video editors and video producers. But anybody that wants any help on brand deals and getting started, it should be the easiest way for you to make a few $1,000 pretty quick, just using these Discords without even going beyond that. Just reach out to me in the Telegram during the week, or tag Erica during the week, or me, then I can tag Erica. Yeah. What else? Online seller cruise. It's announced. I hope you guys don't call my bluff on this, but the tickets are going fast. We are capping the amount of people that can go. I think we have like 22 cabins remaining before that's capped. Co-Captain Andres here. He'll be wearing a straw OSC hat.
Yeah. I'll call you out.
Yeah. In about another 2 weeks, maybe, I'll stop making these announcements exclusive to here for Online Seller Cruise, and instead we'll be announcing it a lot broader through the email, and like I'm giving you guys first crack at it. And then no promises on getting any cabins after that. What else we got? Shopify meetup was last week on some group announcements. Crushed it, great turnout. I was always concerned when I do an additional type of topic meetup event that it's going to have a heavy presence of us Wizards of Ecom or Amazon, and that all the questions would be Amazon first. Completely different crowd of people, which is exactly what we're going for. Very Shopify first crowd. Andres did amazing in the presentation. The next Shopify event happens to be next week, but it coincides with the tank, which is ours. I know we just did a tank, but that was a random one. So next Saturday we're at the tank. So is the Shopify group. So we're going to be able
You're
to.
gonna be at the tank? or-
Both groups are going to be at the tank. So we're going to be at the tank next Saturday. The Shopify group's going to be at the tank, and our Wizards group's going to be at the tank. So come by the tank, swing by. We're going to meet some new people. Be ready to defend your Amazon stance versus their Shopify stance. Should be fun. What else? YouTube. Our YouTube event was already started. It's going to start off as a monthly event. It should be going to twice a month. But the next one, it's in 2 weeks, and it's here at 4 p.m. So when we end at 3:30, we'll be shuffling. Anybody who's welcome to stay, you're welcome to stay. It's a free meetup. Very similar structure to what we do here as far as like a beginner hour and then a top of the week. But that's in 2 weeks at 4 p.m. I will jump over here so you can actually see it. It should be right here. But for those of you that are on Meetup, why is it not showing? Is it not showing here?
What?
Oh, I got to do the USB. That's what it is.
Slide?
Yeah. I didn't know that was showing the whole time. Yeah, there we go. So those of you on Meetup, jump over here. Group's growing pretty fast. We're at 969 members. But our next Meetups, how to make money as a new YouTube channel in 2025.
Wait, could we join that on?
On Meetup.
Oh, that's the same as a meetup. That's not different. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different Meetup group though. It's on meetup.com.
Oh, it's a different.
But it's a different Meetup group completely. So is the Shopify one, which is
Oh, I see. Okay.
so completely different. I recommend jumping over and joining those so you can receive the content that's specific. I don't mix them all through Amazon, otherwise it just becomes a jumble. But it's a totally different group, different crowd, and the Shopify one and the Amazon one will be meeting at the Tank next week.
What day?
Saturday at the Tank. And then this YouTube one is 2 Saturdays from now, or the 26th, here at 4 p.m.
So those next Saturday, that's after this, go.
No, next Saturday our event is at the Tank.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what, the one we just did at the Tank was a random one because something else happened. But we had one scheduled anyway for the Shopify group and the Amazon group to get together at the Tank this coming Saturday, so we'll be there. All right. What else? Yeah. Some of you guys gave me good feedback last week on the, I wanted to try to develop something new in the beginner hour, which was to share a beginner PPC tip. And maybe you guys want to like start filing these away for any of you that want to do your own PPC later in the future. I do think you would need several years of beginner events and tips to mass them together to do it yourself, but the idea is to get your brain thinking in that direction. The tip I'm going to share with everybody today has to do with campaign naming format. So it seems like a very simple thing, but the majority of the accounts that I look at that have attempted to do Amazon PPC on their own, the naming structure that they have of their campaigns makes it impossible almost to tell heads or tails of what, you know, what's going on in the account. A lot of the campaigns, and what that looks like, by the way, is you decide you're going to create an ad. You got to give that campaign a name, and you'll be like, auto. That's the name of the campaign, auto. And then if you ever open another auto campaign, it'll be auto 2, right? Or you might name it the name of your product. So B glass. Some people go a step further and call it B glass auto, right? At scale, that breaks. So a basic, there's a lot of different ways to do this, but a basic campaign structure that I wanted to share everybody to do starts with begin your campaign name with match type.
What is
So-
it? With match type?
With match type. I gave some examples here so it doesn't sound like Greek. Exact is a match type, broad is a match type, phrase is a match type, so you'd start it off. Imagine an exact match type, and imagine that you have, you sell dog collars, right? We'll go with dog collars. So it might look like exact dash dog collar blue, because you have different blue, you have different colors or variants of your dog collar, but you sell other stuff too. So when you're looking at this campaign, and more importantly, when you pull a report and you want to be able to filter and see what's going on, say you want to look at the exact campaigns for your blue dog collars. This will allow you to do that. So you have the match type, then you have the product name or identifier, something to allow you to identify it. If it just said dog collar, you wouldn't know if it was blue. So you also need to say the product name and how to identify it. Target descriptor, this is going to be, without going too much into the weeds here, this is going to be like exactly what you're targeting here. So in this case, let's put main keyword. So this could be the main keyword or keywords, I think you should do keyword, the main keyword that you're going after for blue dog collar in an exact match. You with me so far or no? So your main keyword there is probably what? If you're selling a blue dog collar, what do you think your main keyword you want to win for every time somebody searches? Blue dog collar. And possibly dog collar, but dog collar is more of like somebody searches dog collar, that's got a lot of search volume to it. That's a window shopping keyword.
But if you search dog collar and then when you do it, all the colors show up, doesn't it also give you a broader audience?
See, but you got to step back. So like, let's say,
Actually, you're right, I only want a pink one for mine.
right, so like, do you have a dog?
Yeah.
What kind of dog?
The Senji mix.
What the? You said Benji?
If you Google the barkless dog, they were the
Wanna do it?
first dogs domesticated to man from Africa.
You got a barkless dog?
Well, hold on. So the pure ones don't bark because they would yodel, because when they would hunt,
Is this it?
they would have to be quiet. No.
There's a, have you ever seen a Disney movie called Lady, not a Senji?
No. I didn't know
It's like a Ring doorbell on silent.
that. Really?
This is it?
Yeah, so she, okay,
It's
so
beautiful.
yeah,
Tall.
So mine could bark because she's a mix, but only 3 times when I first rescued her and she was scared, she did the yodel and I got it on tape and I've never heard her do it again. But they are sight hounds and scent hounds, so they're super like uber intelligent.
It's a hunting dog.
She's a hound, yeah. But she was found in the street in Little Haiti, and I do rescue, so I got
In
her.
Haiti, Little Haiti.
Little Haiti, right, so I got her. She's amazing, like.
Lucky to be alive.
Yodels in Haitian.
She says stop saying Haitian. But if anyone is ever interested in rescuing,
Okay.
please tell me.
Is it a big dog, medium dog?
30 pounds, 28 pounds.
Male, female? Female?
Female.
Okay, so if you wanted a dog collar for your Basenji, what would you search on Amazon?
Pink.
Pink dog color.
Well, me personally, I know too much about, so I want a pink martingale collar.
Okay.
Pink martingale.
I'm not calling on you for examples anymore. You're throwing me for all kind of loot. Martingale. I thought Martingale was like a gambling system.
No.
When you double down and double down and double down.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a special type of collar that's way better than it's.
Candace is cutting me off at the knees on
Not a
this
good
one.
one.
No, okay, so what most people search for, and
Pink
you,
dog collar.
would be pink dog collar. Right. They might even say pink, if they've had another dog collar before, they might even say pink medium-sized dog collar.
Yes.
Like they're ready to buy.
That's true.
But anybody that goes in there and searches for dog collar doesn't own a dog, and they're just not sure what they're looking for yet. Right, so like, it's a main keyword, it's a root keyword, but in my opinion, it's not gonna be your main keyword that you're going after for blue dog collar. Because there's gonna be a very large percentage of people that when they search for dog collars don't like blue. You wanna win blue dog collar because that's what that one
Yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah.
Is a specific keyword more generally more expensive, cheaper than a broad keyword? Or So is dog collar-
Instead of calling them specific, let's call them let's rate them by, this is what I do. I rate them by what I call buyer intent. Right? Stop snoring. I'd like to be in the conversation if I have that kind of product. Stop my husband snoring. Higher buyer intent. Like, I have a problem, I need to address it, and it's for a male who I'm married to. Hands-free running dog harness, probably gonna buy. I'm not looking, I wouldn't just search for dog harness. Right, so like there's buyer intent. Another way to say it is longer tail keywords. I prefer to look at them by buyer intent. So the more specific it is, the greater the buyer intent is going to be. And if I don't know if Macy's is still around, but the last time I survived New York, there was that Macy's window, and a whole bunch of people walked by it. Imagine that traffic. Imagine that Macy's window is dog collar, and everyone walking by it is looking at the dog collar. But the people, nope, the vast majority are not buying. Now imagine if you needed to pay for each person that walked by that window. You very quickly hit the stop button, right? So in this case, we're looking at match type, product, identifier, product identifier, so exact, dog collar blue, main keyword, and now what's the goal of this campaign? So your next one, or funnel stage or goal, like whatever you're at. Like funnel stage you can use if you're like, okay, I'm creating a campaign. I'm gonna go against everything that I just said. I'm creating an exact campaign for dog collar blue for main root keyword awareness. So let's say I do want to come up when somebody searches dog collar, but I don't want to bet the farm on it. I want to put a very limited thing behind it. I want to start being part of the conversation. So I'm getting in at top of the funnel. I want to be able to really control that campaign. In this case though, I'm putting exact, dog collar blue, main keyword, launch. So other types of funnel stages or goals you can put are launch, competitor keywords, scale. So if we're looking at exact, dog collar blue, main keyword, scale, what do you think's going on in that campaign?
Could you repeat that again?
Yeah, so let's just, and I'll leave it alone at this. This is why we don't do PPC too much here, because it's a super non-sexy topic to talk about on a Saturday. But you have the structure, and this is going to help. If you can get this, I know you got what I'm talking about. So exact is going to be our match type. Dog collar blue. Main keyword, which is going to be dog collar blue. Scale.
Why'd you say scale?
Well, I'm talking, scale falls into the funnel stage or goal of this campaign. So I have a goal which could be launch. I have a goal which could be, top of funnel or awareness. I can put a goal that's keyword discovery, trying to find new keywords. And then I maybe say this isn't the only ones. And then I have one that says scale. Why would I create one for scale?
Because you're going to spend more money on.
I loved what I saw. They're probably going to be the fewest ones, and you're just like, I'm just going ahead and lock this in, and I'm converting amazing for this thing. Converting over 10%. I love my profit margin where I'm at bidding here. Like, let's just go all in on it. Now,
So when you said competitor name, so you could use a competitor's name for your keyword.
competitor keyword.
Competitor keyword,
Right.
which would be the name of the competitor's competitor.
Say you have a competitor and you want to go after their brand name. You want to, say Nike wants to have one that says exact running, jogger blue, main keyword, no, Reebok, jogger blue, main keyword, discovery. I don't know, like, so you could go after you go after a brand name, which is a brand name, and then what I call brand industry terms. So Reebok, it would be a brand name. Reebok runner, Reebok waffle, sole, whatever would be brand name and industry term. So if you're creating your own, campaigns, some people don't want to spend money on their brand names, but if you're creating your own campaigns, you want to create some campaigns that are just for your brand name, and then have one for your brand name that you're just like a defensive one. Should be your most profitable one with a small budget, and then you have another one which is going to be your brand name with brand and industry terms. So a lot of the times I'm working with campaigns and they have a campaign that I'm like, wow, this thing is not performing in the way I wanted for its objective, but it is performing well. Or Candace says, Carlos, come look at my stuff. And I go look at her stuff and I'm just like, wow, okay. And you're like, I don't want anything to do with this, Carlos, you do it. And she has a campaign there that's called Win. That's it. It just says Win, right? And it's doing well. Am I gonna stop it and rename it?
No.
Absolutely not. So you sometimes have to just, if something's working good, just leave it the heck alone. Even if it's not the objective that you wanted when you started it. Happens a lot. It's kind of like those commercials where it shows you how to change something under your sink. And in the video, everything's clean. There's plenty of space to get underneath and do your work. The person's tools are brand new. The tape's already pulled out and ready, but in reality, you can't fit. It's at a bad angle. It's rusted shut, you know, and you're not even using the appropriate tool. You're using what you have left over and you haven't touched it in 3 months. So it's like reality versus what they show you online. You had a question?
Yeah, I was gonna suggest, like, for the next PPC tips, kind of cool to share with everyone the different ad types that are available on Amazon and when to deploy those ad types. So rail ads, video display ads, you know, et cetera, like where those actually display and how someone would want to start incorporating that into their ad, you know, structure or their ad plan. Like, when's a good time to deploy that? Like, when would a newbie who's launching a red, white, and blue dog collar decide that they'd want to do, you know, a rail ad, or, you know, just that'd be interesting to me to hear from your perspective, like when you want to put these in play.
Okay, yeah, I made a note. I'll do it. Okay, you guys survived another PPC tip session. That's 2. Again, love feedback before I make this something that's permanent. If I stop hearing feedback, I'm gonna stop, because it's a dense topic to go over on a Saturday, and it may not be what you guys are looking for. To lighten the mood a little bit, am I sharing my screen still on the, or not yet?
Sharing your screen.
No, but I'm saying on the stream, am I sharing? Before I make this something that's permanent. I'm gonna try. I just hit share now, just in case. But okay, give it a second, see if it. I'm gonna share some wacky things that I think will be inspiring. When you think that you can't find a product idea, I'm not saying you should sell this one. I sometimes like looking at like wacky ideas on Amazon, and they can inspire you to think of other stuff. Again, I'm not saying that you should sell this. I definitely do not want you selling something that only sells for $12.99 and over 100 bought. But look at this. Look how many. Do you know how many this person has to have sold to get 1,625 reviews?
16,000.
Wild. Obviously, get one in black. You see what they did there, though? Like, I think this kind of stuff's important. I don't want to say that this listing is something that you should be modeling, but look at the change in the phones. Well, that's a much better listing. But they really made the colors pop.
They made it so you could see that you could fit all sizes of phones in there. Yeah.
That was good. All right, some more inspiration. I thought this was cool. I thought of if anyone knows anyone that does printing, this is hilarious. But you can get a picture of someone and make it their size. So Candace, what do you see, 3 feet. I'm just kidding. They have the 3-footer. Sorry.
I love it.
Or Andres's ego, 8 feet. It's just like, you see these things and I don't know, they make you think,
That sells a lot?
sells enough.
The problem with that is the shipping. It's not the printing and the cutting out. It's the shipping. How do you ship a 5-footer?
Well, you can't, it doesn't, it's
No, I'm sure, I would imagine that it has a stick behind it and you just pop the stick on and it, I would think.
Okay, but help me get it down to something that's not oversized.
I can help you figure that out, bro. Let's be glass half full.
No, I'm just saying that's the hurdle I see is not executing on that. But
It is tempting though when I see a listing like this to jump into their storefront and just see what other insanities are you doing, right?
Do it. Do it.
It's a cool name, right? Texture of Dreams. All right. $45. It looks like they jumped on the
election bandwagon.
looks like they were ready to go either way. Wow.
Sold 8. Jeez.
That's way too many.
Try not to get political, but isn't that, when you look at the amount of reviews that one got versus the other, and then we all know how the election went, isn't that kind of, I heard one that said, was it a president had not lost, whoever sold more Halloween masks, like when an election's coming in November,
Oh,
that
it
October,
determines who-
whichever president sold the most Halloween masks wound up being the president that won the election for like the last, some crazy stat. That could go on your stats YouTube channel.
That's wild.
That makes sense, though.
It was like since Nixon or something.
Run it by Ricky though to make sure it's okay.
The graphics.
You like that? Run it by, don't just do it, run it by Ricky.
You saw that shit, right?
Okay, no, actually, it's not that shocking. I mean, it actually looks like the rest of their, okay, yeah, not that impressive. Okay. Look at this. 30-inch floating crocodile decoy. So I'm not saying you should get into this, but I would be like, if you want to get into floaties for the pool, I think you should go this direction instead of the direction of the floating bed with the koozie, if that's what it's called, inside of it. Like, I would much rather, I think I could sell more T-Rex floaties and alligator floaties than other stuff. And you probably could create a really cool business out of it. It's just like, I have weird floaties. Or how about a floaty in the likeness, using what you just saw in the other one, in the likeness of, not to be crude, I can get a floaty of my wife,
Your mother.
I was
just like
thinking
ride it around the pool.
That's actually
Your mother-in-law.
Mother-in-law.
My mother-in-law.
Hold her underwater.
Have the kids shooting it with water guns. I like looking at these. This one blew me away, right? But let me tell you something. I was hesitant to show this, but I mean, we're adults, okay? Sexy women underwear. First of all, I don't know what's sexy about this,
What is that?
right? The cut is not sexy.
Might be a beaver.
The image is not sexy to me. But you know what? I guess everyone has different tastes.
alpaca.
Is that an alpaca? Is that a
Yeah.
llama?
Yeah.
That's a dog, alpaca.
What's on the back?
Llama pants.
You want to see the back?
What's on the back?
He just wants to see the second. Okay, so first of all, what I thought of, the only reason I did put this in is I was like, man, first of all, did you see the reviews? I know it's aggregated amongst all of these, but still, well, no, okay, really? Okay,
Wait, this sells a lot.
Nice.
sells enough. Like this fabric's like next to nothing in cost. Still, it's $12.99. I'm not loving it, but I'm also really not loving the idea here of just like random barnyard animals. I feel like for me, what this means is that there is a category for not so obvious designs on panties, like gag panties, and then also underwear, and what you're going to see in a second will further hammer this home. But I already know, I've seen like slogans. Tom and I have a favorite slogan we saw one time at a pool. What is it? Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amazing.
Yeah. So I'm not talking about the slogans. I'm not talking about sex sells. We know it. In this case, it's not so obvious and also doesn't fall into those two categories. I was a bit surprised. This I was just insulted by.
Oh my God.
I was very insulted by this, and you guys know I was already thrown for a loop when I found out that there was cat harnesses that people walk their cats. I wasn't ready for this. Look at this.
Didn't we see one with chicken diapers too?
Yeah, I wasn't ready for this.
The chicken diapers.
I'm still not happy that it exists.
Is that just a dog harness with a rooster in
No,
it?
that's different, I think.
I
The
think
Senji harness. It's pink.
I'm thinking it's the same factory.
Do they like walk the chickens with this?
They do,
or-
apparently, you know, they walk cats too.
Oh, I know, the cats, yeah, okay. but-
You've heard of that? Walking cats. I'm still not okay with
I'm
that.
thinking about it would be a good business to go ahead and bring to Key West since they have so many roosters.
All of Miami, yeah.
I'd love to get one of these on the rooster that runs around my local Palacio de Jugo.
Just walking
Like-
by Kentucky Fried Chicken, you know, something.
I'm thinking, like, do you feed? Can you imagine doing an Amazon influencer video on this, and first you show that you're giving a little tranquilizer pill or something to a local rooster, and then it wakes up and it's harnessed. Oh my God. I don't know whether you make a lot of money going viral or like the Animal Cruelty Association knocks on your door.
Come after you.
Anyhow, look at this. I think this is a good list to look at, or go back and look at this video anytime you're stuck and you're like, all the good product ideas are gone. And does somebody have one rooster, by the way? Don't they have more than one?
Yeah.
I've never, right? Usually,
You're thinking of a multi-harness for roosters.
or I'm selling a multi-pack to raise this $12.99 to $29.99.
I mean, I
It says
imagine,
for chicken, not just rooster.
One
Oh, yeah.
rooster, 5 chickens.
Good eye.
imagine when you walk Lucky, you know, you want to walk Lucky and, you know, dinner.
Missy.
And dinner for. a
I'm
reason.
thinking we get this harness and have a little string that has a wagon for the chicks to be in.
It comes in pink, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's not only for the rooster, it could be also for the chicken, right?
They got WOE blue.
But they don't have a chicken.
Okay, let's see what we got next. Oh yeah, this also was offensive to me. Hander pants. So what I thought of this is I was like, well, if I looked, this seller doesn't have it and I couldn't find it anywhere, but if hander pants is a thing, how come there's not handers or hander panty? You know what I mean? Or something like that. And in 2025, I think more people would wear that.
But what is that, what is that for?
I'm assuming so
I would imagine it's a
under your
gadget.
mittens.
So that no one doubts what you're identifying at. I don't know.
What does the packaging say? It says, what's the text?
Underpants for your hands.
But is it kind of like?
I can think of a lot of situations where I was always like, ah, thank
You know,
God.
you could dominate that category with your own, with a better listing than that.
I don't think it gets worse than this.
Can you go ahead and pair it with like a pair of gloves, because then you could go ahead and
How-
say it will keep your hands warm.
How about his and hers
Oh.
and have hander panty and hander pants?
I go to the Fruit of the Loom set.
And get a scissor.
Handongs. Handongs. Oh, what else we got? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for our cat lovers.
Oh.
Sold out. This person probably bought like 50 of these
Yeah.
and was like, I'm just gonna list them, had no idea. Bought like 500 units, he sent them and sold out.
Terrified.
Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Surprised Kleenex didn't get them. Unbelievable. But it makes you think, what are the other animals? Well, don't think too much on it, but it makes you think what other... Is there like a Death Star one for Star Wars fans? All right, we got a couple more minutes left in the beginner hour before we get into like listing roasts. Some of you guys sent me some listings that we could roast, right? I have like a few on my own, but we got some to go over. But any questions from the beginner hour? I didn't really open it up for anyone that did have any questions. No?
Considering everything that's going on with the dreaded tariff war that's happening, I look at it from a different lens. Like, what opportunities can we come up with here? Because there's a lot of, at least people I know from in our group, that are stuck with stuff in China. I'd imagine there's a lot of people that are not sure what to do with their stuff that's in China. And I imagine there's a lot of people that just don't want to order anything else until this, whatever this thing is we're going through, gets through. What opportunities do you see with that out there?
Yeah, I think the biggest opportunity. I think the biggest opportunity is people who have been. Some people need a big wake-up call to evolve their business, and you get stuck in it works. Just let it keep riding, and you tell other people, I know nothing lasts forever, but they treat their business like it's gonna last forever and that product's gonna last forever, and you get lazy and you just try to ride it out. Well, there's not a single person who sells a product from China that I know that's a higher ticket item, that's unique, not unique in like you invented it and you have a patent, but that applies, but that created a unique high value item that they took the time to build in the profit that's needed for a business, to evolve the product, to do marketing. Not a single one of them are complaining about the China stuff. They're not happy. I mean, no one wants to make less money, but not a single one of them is treating this like an extinction level event. They're not paying attention to those posts. Next week, it could be zero tariffs. Like,
Yeah, like,
I don't think it's going to, but next week it could be zero tariffs. Like there was a time, you know what I mean? It could be zero tariffs. Like they could work it out if there was any situation where that could happen. I mean, we're kind of there. I don't think that's the case, but doing the people, so it's important to say the people that are just freaking out about this, rightfully so, usually sell like these commodity type products. They're low cost. They know some trick hack to rank that allows them to not spend like you would have to do in a business for marketing. So those people, some of them are friends of mine too, so like I don't, like I want to do everything in my possible just to make it as absolutely amazing as possible to help them. But the biggest opportunity here is for you to say, okay, wake up call, time to evolve my business, starting with the product selection level and how I go about choosing products. I think China is amazing to work with right now. But if you take that into account when you're choosing products, things like Lens, things like Axio, things like the factories are willing to bend over backwards to try to help you in this type of environment. I think it's a great opportunity. And then the tariffs themselves, I know we at the entrepreneur breakfast, we had some really good talks about who pays for them, which was really important. But kind of like how they can be absorbed, and it's us, is what we came down, like we pay for some of that. And then I guess there's a ripple of, well, if we order less, then that's how it impacts China. But us as the brand and as a seller that's paying that tariff, that doesn't have to be 100% absorbed by us. Every one of us that gets software or works and engages with other companies, you get almost once a year an email that says, hey, by the way, our prices have gone up. Like prices go up. So some of that should happen. The consumer will absorb some of it. Negotiating with your logistics people, they absorb some of it. The factory may absorb a little bit of it, but like it doesn't have to be a 100% hit. And how much are we talking about too? So like if we're talking about a product that sells for, we did a post in the advanced Telegram group, but if you have a product, I mean, you have to assume some things, but if you have a product that's selling for 20, 25 bucks on Amazon,
Cost of good is 4.
cost of good is 4, and you just got hit with,
I guess my question comes from,
like you're not, it shouldn't be an extinction level event unless you're selling a
no,
cheapo
it should be an
commodity product.
opportunity level.
It is an
So
opportunity.
So let's say you're selling a glassware product, for
Mhm.
example, and you have a manufacturer over there now, but there's probably a lot of manufacturers in China that sell glassware. So isn't this a great opportunity to go to them, those other competitors that would be other than your suppliers, and tell them what you're trying to do, and maybe negotiate a contract that says something to the effect of, if there are tariffs, you absorb half, I absorb half, what can you do to help me out with this, and negotiate those now, because I would imagine there's a lot of concern over there on their part, because they're probably not getting any orders whatsoever. So I'm wondering if you can use that as an opportunity to leverage them. You've been over to China more than anybody I know, so
Yeah.
or are they just as like, hey, we're gonna wait this out too?
No, I know that they're definitely open to negotiate, but I was talking to, I don't know if it was Bruce and I, we were talking, or I was talking with somebody, and there is first of all, yes, the factories are willing to work with you on stuff like that, so it is an opportunity. But they're also just the impression I have, sorry, I'm trying to really choose my words because I don't want anyone to be offended anywhere. But I find, like, look, I love the country I was born in and this and that. I also have a lot of friends in China. But I will say that in the country, in China, the majority of people, they would be very open to, okay, I'm totally fine with taking a hit and being inconvenienced in my life for the next few years so that we can hold our position as a country. And there's much less of that over here. There's much less over here is like, what? I'm gonna pay $50 more per year for what? Like, no, I'm voting you. You know, so like, I don't see that as an advantage that we have in what's coming. But the factories themselves are more than willing to. You guys get what I was trying to say by that? Like the factories themselves are more than willing to, like, as an opportunity to work with us and renegotiate things. And terms is one that a lot of people are not talking about. Sometimes a lot of this pressure that we're talking about could be alleviated from our side just by saying, can we get better terms in how we pay and when we pay? So a lot of opportunity.
And the trick might be to go ahead and get them to sign some kind of agreement with you before all of this changes again, you know?
Sure.
Those are the kind of opportunities I'm talking about. It's
Yeah.
like, what can we be doing now to take advantage of the situation instead of being here like everybody else, waiting for.
For those of you that have been selling for, it's crazy that it's been this long since the period that I'm talking about, but say 5-6 years on Amazon, and you were in the Amazon space with the Amazon aggregator boom, when these companies were popping up overnight and just acquiring private label businesses. I was very anti that because I felt like what happened was going to happen. But I did learn something from that prior to it happening, and I'm going to tie that into what we're talking about right now. Prior to that happening, I would have really patted myself on the back and been like, hey, when it comes to optimizing a product and dialing in profit margin, like, I'm top of the food chain with that. But it really exposed, like, how not good I was with that, because one of the main hooks, or one of the main, I guess one of the main drivers that these aggregators were banking on, or these, by the way, aggregators, someone that are buying a whole bunch of private label companies and they're putting them together and they're gonna pay a multiple to acquire them, and they feel like they can grow them to be even more profitable, so they recoup their money and they make a lot more money. That was the model. But one of the first things they did, and it was across every single product they got without fail, this was a way that they made money. They made your product smaller. Like, not the product, the packaging.
I was thinking.
They put you into a smaller category, they'd retool something, they'd take the time to say, well, you know what, it's made with this wood. This is actually an identical type of wood, and it's a fraction of the cost. So they did that. That was one of the first things they did. And then they looked at your shipping, and then they just made it more profitable. They consolidated things better. They tweaked your master boxes. These are things that none of the brands that they acquired were doing. And I looked at my stuff at the time, and I didn't do any of that. I immediately started moving into that, and the increase in profits was through the roof, much greater than anything you're going to lose on a tariff. So perhaps one of the things you can look at, because I really doubt most sellers went in and did that for their products. One of the things you should look at is say, okay, why don't I just figure out a way to make my product cheaper, either on the fee side of Amazon, or the way I'm shipping it, or you know, just something there. Is there a different material type that I can use? And I suspect that for the vast majority of sellers, that would you'd be in a better spot than what you were before the crazy tariff started. That's my 2 cents. So far, the people that have come to me and said, this is my product, I'm gonna die with these tariffs. I looked at it, and it was almost like I could get the box that it's in and go like this, and it just, I was like, that's a lot of extra space. I mean, you're 75 cents to $1.25 and in size fees alone that you can save. Why are you concerned about this extra 90 cents per unit, you know? So look at those things, and then if you've done all those, like, reach out to me to brainstorm. I can't solve it all, but there's usually a lot. Look at the softwares and the bloated marketing stack stuff you do. Just get leaner as a business right now, and let the powers that be do what they do. You can't influence them anyway, at least not for a few more years. sorry, I got on a little tangent there, but I really know that these things will make your business more profitable. I've done them myself. I've been on the wrong end of it several times, not realizing it. You create something and you never revisit it. And it was a good idea at the time that you brought it out, but you never continued to improve it. So take a look, start improving it. Does that answer? Yeah, I think there's a lot of opportunities there. I don't see any.
I think that's a great angle, is to revisit your packaging, to revisit how it ships, the stuff that it's made, how you can make that a little bit more efficient, what your master box looks like, and all that stuff makes a lot of sense. But the other side of it too, like, I think there's opportunities with these manufacturers right now that are really hurting for you to reach out to them. And so I don't know,
I would just
picking that product is going to be, I think a lot of this stuff that you're seeing right here, I think goes away. I think after we've been through the pandemic before and experienced all the shipping issues, and now we're going through the tariff stuff again, I think eventually some of these Amazon sellers are going to go, you know what? The juice is not worth the squeeze for me to bring over, a $4 item and then be stuck with, what am I going to do here? So I think you're going to have to choose a product with a lot more profit margin into it. So I think a lot of this cat tissue lover stuff probably goes away.
Yeah, or it's sold on a platform that is geared for that, not,
Not here?
Well,
Yeah.
No, they don't know
A
something.
lot of,
I think this kind of product would be great for eBay.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah.
a lot of Chinese manufacturers have already shifted production to Vietnam and Cambodia already. And since Vietnam and Cambodia are going to be one of the first countries probably to try to strike a deal, might be an opportunity to get away from China and look at different sources of manufacturing.
Yeah. Ton of if you have a brand that is already known for all of your glassware, you need to work with someone that has the capabilities of doing that glassware. But the vast majority of you I know, like we've spoke one-on-one outside of these groups, you're product agnostic. You're like when I first met Tom, and I was him and his business partner, and we're like talking about product ideas. And I'm like, what are you passionate about? And Tom said, cash flow positive. Some variation of that, right? Like most of you, that's what you're passionate about. So
I would just go with it, reaching out to them before all of this changes and making them either sign an agreement, some kind of a promise, whatever it is that they can go ahead and give me.
Yeah.
But my conversation question though is reach out to them about what, right? So do we nix the kitty cat ideas and do we go after something that's higher value? Where do we see the opportunity is what I was asking the wizard.
yeah, I would, I don't think these sort of kitty cat products that probably sell for $12.99 and there's a big ceramic item really have a place in Amazon anymore if it's just an Amazon play. I think if you have a animal houseware themed, or like you have the bees and the cats and you have this like Instagram or Shopify thing going on, and this is what you're kind of investing in being known for as the spot for you that want to add some like taste and flavor and make something look chic and stuff. And when they go to your site, even though Instagram or your site might be where you want to sell, a big chunk of people have a Prime account and they just want to jump over to Amazon to buy it. So then having it as an offering on Amazon, in that sense, makes a lot of sense. It's still the #1 product search engine in the world. And by the way, Patty's here. I didn't introduce her, but Patty's like the queen of eBay for anybody that has any questions. And she's been in e-commerce longer than me. Yeah, so anybody afterwards that wants to pick her brain about eBay as a channel. Yeah. She's got a really cool story of was it an egg green toilet one time?
Toilet.
That you
It
picked.
is an amazing story. Okay, so I'll tell you real quick. It's bulk garbage day in my neighborhood, and I was taking my husband to work, and I see this avocado green toilet
Avocado green.
on the side of the road. And so I searched it, and they were going for $800. So I said to my husband, stop, I get the toilet. He's like, no. I draw the line, no. So he went to work, I dropped him off, and then I called my friends, I called my son, and he's like, Mom, I'm in school. I said, I can get you out. And he's like, no, click. And then the other one, I'm sleeping, click. I'm like left all by myself there, And as a matter of fact, the lady that gave me the solution was one
this showing?
person, one of the first people that I met here with cars, okay? So she says to me, Patty, just part it out. I said, what do you mean? She goes, get the tank lid, and then get the tank, and then that way you can go ahead and move it, you know? So I did. I sold the lid for $150 and the tank for $350 on eBay, plus shipping. Yeah. So I made a lot of money from full coverage.
All right. So here we go. We're at the topic. Afterwards, if anybody has any questions, we can go over any beginner type of questions.
Yeah, there's some questions on the street.
There is some questions on the stream. Can you ask? What do you mean?
Is there any plans for Carlos to hold any meetings up in Jacksonville or possibly have a permanent location here?
As of right now, no. We will be resuming the Tampa ones very soon, and as soon as we do, we'll be having the Orlando one as well. I'd love to, if you reach out to me and let me know like where in Jacksonville or stuff you at, I'd like to be doing a bunch of stuff in Florida, but as far as like opening a dedicated location like this in Jacksonville, no, I don't have any plans right now.
My son lives in Jacksonville.
Yeah. But I'd be down to go to Jacksonville if you float some areas around and we can do an event in Jacksonville for sure.
Have any Amazon sellers increased prices since tariffs have come?
Have any Amazon sellers increased prices since tariffs come up? I'm sure, I mean, I don't know all of them, but I'm sure some have. I would say the vast majority have not. They've just talked about it. Like it's this, a lot of people are scared to raise their prices because they feel like it's gonna tank their sales, or they've been taught that that's what would happen. It does matter. Like, look, the thing is, you can raise your price. You just need to also do something, especially to your main image, to sort of justify why your stuff sells for that. If your main image and your product listing supports a higher sale item, then a higher priced item, then you're good. The cheaper, lower quality products, they're always going to be the top of page one, and they're going to have the highest volume. That's what it is. But not every. I go in there and I filter a lot of times when I'm looking for a product for the mid-range or higher priced products, because there's some types of products where I don't want to be having to buy one every 3 weeks or.
But could you go ahead and just raise it just like minimum?
Yeah, absolutely you can. Absolutely you can. But what happens is that when the few people that actually test raising their price, they'll raise it a little bit and sales will go down and they panic and they bring it up. But the thing is, you could have a junk main image. You're out, Candace?
Oh, no.
Oh, no. You could have a mediocre main image and improve it for clearly a much higher quality main image, and sales could go down as you make a change on the listing.
And why is that?
Because the Amazon system is reading it a different way. That's it. It doesn't mean that the main image was bad. It also doesn't mean that your price increase is gonna play out that way. That's just how it is across running ads.
And how long would you give?
Let me show you another one. Let's say you have an ad campaign going, and for the term blue handheld drone, you're crushing it. So you decide you're going to break this out of your auto campaign, and you're going to get blue handheld drone, exact match, blue handheld drone. You do your format, you do everything, and you put it in there, and you put $100 on it, and the thing starts bombing. And you panic and you hit stop. You're like, oh my God, what happened? It was just doing good there. And it's just the system recognizing this new campaign and where it should best fit. That's it. You need to let it, give it a couple days, give it a week, 2 weeks, and let it play out, and it's going to work.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Right.
How long would you give it?
Sometimes it's immediate. Sometimes you don't see the dip.
Yeah.
It's rare. I know, because I'll have somebody say, "Man, your image sucks. Like we need to evolve this," and they spend a good bit evolving it, and then they're clobbering me for like a week and a half. Well, you said this, and I knew it, and then all of a sudden sales go up, and they don't unclobber you.
Right.
They don't unclobber you, but
They don't come back and say, hey, thanks.
right. But that's just how it happens. So yeah, you should raise your price. I just think you should, if you want to have luxury pricing for the category for that product, have a luxury listing. Don't have luxury pricing with no A+, you know, your neighbor's photoshopped main image, and stock secondary, that's what doesn't work. Get with Andres to get an app built to have a technological differentiator, do things to make your product look of higher quality, and then and then have prices to support it. Yeah, and then nobody has a problem with that. Okay, any more questions? That was it? Let me know if the person from Jacksonville responds. I would love to do something in Jacksonville.
Okay, I'll help you
Maybe go
out
up there and
with
scope out a salsa
Jacksonville.
location too.
Jacksonville is cool, it's very.
Yeah, I think Dylan from Aura is out of Jacksonville too, I believe. Okay, here we go. First listing to roast. So I want to do something here. There was no way to do it. I think it's the type of image that this person put here. By the way, I won't say the person's name, but this person asked, this is one of the people that submitted a listing to be roasted. Look, I called it a roast because I thought we'd never done something like this, so we're going to roast them. All roast means to me is I'm not going to pull any punches on the listing, whereas sometimes I learned this technique in Toastmasters where they said, give a compliment give a compliment, then critique it and give a compliment, or Tom likes to call it peanut butter and jelly. Is that what you call it?
PB&J sandwich.
PB&J sandwich.
We call it
White,
dish
jam.
and listing.
Nice.
A what?
Dish and listing.
Dish a listing. So like for me, in all those other ones, I'll force some compliments in here. For time's sake, I'm not going to force any compliments unless I think they're like really worth it, and I'm just going to speak my mind on the listing. So first of all, unless it's my computer, but I tried it on another computer and it didn't work, this listing is not optimized correctly. The image size itself, it's not allowing for zoom. I can't zoom in and look at anything. I can't even click into it and expand it. So it seems like the quality of the image itself doesn't allow for a basic zoom feature. The zoom feature is like really important on Amazon. People want to click into it and expand it and look at it a lot better. They can't touch it. That's been around forever on Amazon. If you don't look at the rest of this listing, and this is one of the first things I look at, I'm starting with the main image because that's the most important. If you don't look at the rest of the listing or the secondaries, do you know what that product is?
Golf bag.
Golf bag,
Yeah. for
I thought it was
luggage.
luggage.
luggage, right?
Go back.
Well, once you see the product, so this is the dominant variation that shows. What's really crazy about this is when you look at the secondary, they kind of fixed that. To be personally, if you have a white variation,
Oh, because they put the water bottle there.
they did put the water bottle, but you should put a water bottle of a different color.
A different color.
Like the water bottle should have been a different color to stand out, but in their main variant, it's not even there. So like I think that's a problem.
Right.
Like a really big problem. Your main image should be able to stand alone, sell itself. There's no call outs, annotations, on top of not having a zoom feature. I can only assume what this product is.
That looks like a really big strap compared to the water
I
bottle.
was
So
thinking
the
that.
strap
Yeah.
to me, at first when I looked at it, I thought it was a cap that went on top. But now when I looked at it a little bit bigger, it's actually a strap. So
Yeah.
it must be a really cool feature to have that strap.
Yeah. There's some cool things you can get away with that are not terms of service by showing like the dimensions, the scale. I don't think you get a good idea of the scale of this thing when you don't have the water bottle in it. But when you look over here, 16 to 32 ounces, durable cotton canvas, genuine leather, insulated. I don't feel like any of that's being communicated by the main image.
I think the secondary image was better.
It is.
out of five.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about the,
Oh yeah, here.
yeah.
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 Yeah, you can see more.
Yeah. Here they do some of these call outs, so it's like they were aware of it. I'd have to guess by looking at the rest of this listing that they're just unaware like of that main image appearing that way. And I think it's going to hit a lot of the sales that they could be getting off the bat, because people visually need to, that they'll bail off the listing. They don't read.
And the other thing is in inches, it doesn't have centimeters either, so
Yeah.
most of the listings that I see, I look for centimeters too.
Yeah. Something about this listing kind of felt off. It almost felt like stock, but it's not. It's the person doing it. But like something about this felt off, like it was almost 3D rendered in.
The
But
sizes look different from what's on the back than what's on the.
oh yeah. But here are the.
This is some little, the strap looks big, but the bag is little.
Yeah, as far as the title, well, one of the other things I look at when I go to one of these listings is I click up in here and I look over for canonical URLs, and this one I'm not seeing it, so I do and by looking at a canonical URL, what I do is, so you'll see the keywords that are seeded in their title. Sometimes it doesn't show up in the slug, and when it doesn't, that's a problem that should be fixed. But in this case, it usually just grabs the first few keywords of the title, first 5 of the title, and puts them in the slug. But what happens there is if you share this listing with someone and the person buys it, what keyword do they rank for? So you know if they go to Amazon and they search for water bottle bag, and you get a sale, whether it's click through the ad or organic, you just ranked a little bit for water bottle bag. And arguably you also ranked for slightly all of the relevant keywords associated with water bag. That's how you rank. Now, say you sent this link to somebody and they bought it. They didn't search for anything. What keyword do you rank for? You rank for the keywords that are seeded in the canonical URL. In this case, it's Solly and Rue, crossbody, durable, insulated. So I think that could be a lot better. Crossbody, durable, insulated. What I like to do when I'm creating a listing from scratch on the account is I will go in and create, like if I'm the one on the back end of the listing doing it, what I'll do is I'll go in and I'll create the title, and the title will only have my 5 keywords that I want. Then I generate the listing. Even if you have the listing coming out, you know, in 6 months, and you're trying to preserve a honeymoon or something like that, what'll happen is once the listing is ingested by Amazon, the only 5 keywords that it can pull are the 5 keywords that I want in the slug, and then I'll go in and edit the listing once I see that it's stuck. But in this case, the canonical keywords I don't feel like are very good. It's going to be very difficult for me to roast the keyword research on here because I've not keyword researched this or the competition. I will say that I like the title. I'm not a fan of these pipes.
Yeah, why do they do that?
It's there's some people that still recommend it, and I think it's more for like making the copy look less blocky. There's a lot of other ways to do that are not pipes.
That would not fly.
Yeah. Well, it was mentioned by Amazon that it doesn't help the listing anymore. So I guess this person might have missed that memo a little bit. But
Like stars or like slash. Any of
yeah.
that stuff.
Besides that, I'm a fan of shorter truncated titles. So in this case, all things being equal, assuming they did their keyword research, I like it. It's crossbody water bottle bag with wide strap. What it's made out of, and that it's insulated, I probably would have put crossbody insulated water bottle bag. I think the fact that it was insulated would kind of be important.
Yeah.
Not having it at the end. First, third, and fifth keywords usually hold the most weight in a title. So in this case, it would be crossbody, bottle, width, wide, but if we had crossbody, insulated water bottle bag, I think that shuffles it around a little nicer. So I don't like insulated at the end with a pipe.
So the 16, okay, I got a question about the title. The 16 ounces,
Mhm.
is it 16, it says 16 to 32 ounces. Is this, the wide strap is 16, or is it?
The wide strap is,
You see, it says wide
yeah, it's
strap
not, it's
16.
worded at 16 to 32 ounces. Are we talking about the strap, or is it a 32 ounce?
Well, the 32 ounce, I get it,
Right.
because the bottom, I mean, the insulator can carry, maybe they can carry a bottle that is 16 ounces or
Right.
30, or up to.
Right, yeah,
So
but
it
this,
should be
this could be,
16.
it could be worded better. So it should be crossbody insulated water bottle bag with wide strap. Durable cotton canvas, genuine leather, 16 to 32 ounces. So I feel like the visual break would be like, oh, here's a section down here that talks about the ounces or the size of the water bottle that can go in here.
Or the
It's a
strap
cross
is
bottle
in.
insulated water bag. So I feel like the important pieces are spread out. But I've seen a lot worse. So this still falls into like from the types of listings that I normally see, this still falls into the
They want to
average,
pay
below
more
average,
than
not poor,
or-
criminally bad.
Or
Yeah.
5.
Yeah, I mean the bullets are kind of blah. Nothing there. Let's go look because we have other listings to rip apart. Good to see her. She's good people. I think she's on the stream too, but like the idea with the bags. I don't know how do I get her star. This brand story is a really important feature on Amazon. I'm finding listings that have a brand story on there are just performing a little better. I was very skeptical about brand stories being on listings before as far as them having any real impact, but they do. I think it's a good idea that she showed her face. I just happen to know this is her, but I think giving someone a person that they can connect to really does help on the listing. So I think that's a really nice touch. The only downside kind of is, I guess in the age of AI, you question, is that a real person? Like there's no, but if you see this person and learn about this product outside of Amazon and then you come here like, oh my God, yes, this is it, this is her. That's great. If you're doing a TikTok play and you're the one doing the content and this person jumps over to Amazon and like, yes, that's her, I just saw her on TikTok. That would really convert. How do we get our start? I also find that while people don't read listings, people don't read for brand stories, if they make it this far, which is a very small percentage, seem like they do read the brand story. And this is just testing the heck out of it and paying people to go through listings and give feedback. No, our bags are meticulously crafted in our drones. Maybe because they don't care. Many people suffer from dehydration because it'd be cool to get the insights on this listing from Paul. I wish Paul was here. Water Buffalo. Seems like they're not competitors, but they seem like they're playing in the same body of water. Rufina, if you want connected to, I'm assuming you're on the stream, but if you want to get connected to Paul from Water Buffalo, let me know. Product description. I think this is nice. I like this little touch on the branding here. It's different. Oh God, how do I make this thing go away?
I like those infographics there much more than on the main listing.
I do. I do. I like these a lot. You want to know something though?
That one right there with the person putting it into the bag. That one right
Yeah.
there. That one should
Yeah.
be on
Yeah,
the
like
main,
the-
on the one of the.
Yeah, I agree.
like the
This should be
second
one of the
listing or
secondary
something,
images.
Just show me
The
what it
second
does.
floor, yeah.
This is really good. This is really, really good. Yeah,
Those drink that stuff is great.
yeah, this is really good. This is really good A+. It's like redeeming itself from the top. I will say something else though that I like, where a lot of people get it wrong, and this person got it really right, is a lot of people just repeat what they have here, and they're like, oh, I'm so done to be done with the whole graphics thing, and then they repeat it in the A+. And remember the purpose here. Like if someone's on a listing and they don't buy, majority buy from right here. Anybody that's gone down here, there's still something that they're on the fence about. They're not fully ready to convert. So if you repeat the information in the A+, you haven't given them any new information to convert. So the fact that I think anyone that does not bail from this listing and comes down to the A+ here is going to buy. So really good on the A+.
I actually think that whoever did A+ is not the same person.
It's
who
not.
did the infographics.
I agree.
And go up one to look at the competitors up there.
I wanna get
noticed
one.
that there's one right there on the left. It actually has like a bunch of stuff hanging from it.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah,
3,000 down a bit, Carlos.
There.
Like it gets away with like
That real
holding
one.
to the left,
The
not
white
the one
one,
that
the
looks like
white
it's from
one.
Somalia, the white one. Look at that one for a second.
Yeah.
Like I don't know why it just shows something a little bit more,
Yeah, this is.
maybe a little
Well,
bit more
because it's
robust.
showing, yeah, then that way.
More stuff.
That's a good picture.
It is a very good picture.
So it's, yeah, the strap is in the back, maybe. It's not.
The cloud
It's also a lot
straw
cheaper,
cap.
too. It's a much cheaper
You
product.
can
Yeah,
see
it's
it
cheaper. It's cheaper, but they went way more on making it look not as cheap. I don't know what their goal is here, but I bet you they could sell this for more.
What do you think about the wording?
Water bottle carrier bag with phone pocket for Stanley. Okay, so well, I really, before I even get into this, I'll say I don't like this title. It's blocky. I could, well, they're name dropping a viral product in here, and I don't even know what the protections are on using the word Stanley here. Like,
Should be compatible with
Yeah.
Stanley.
yeah, Stanley's a brand.
Stanley's branded thermos.
Oh my God.
It's very
I
popular.
would know.
40, 30 ounce tumbler, neoprene, holder. Yeah, I don't like anything. Adjustable strap, ballast.
And are they manipulating?
I now feel dumb. I don't know what a ballast is, so I don't want to feel dumb while I hydrate.
So, what about the Stanley thing? Isn't that manipulation, search manipulation?
Yeah, I think I think this listing's playing with fire here. Like I'm unclear, but I think for them to use Stanley, they have to say some version of compatible with, like carrier bag with phone pocket
So report them.
Yeah.
compatible with Stanley 40, 30 ounce tumblers. One thing to take into account though when you're looking at listings like this, especially a listing that, I'm just going to assume it wasn't totally black hatted, even though I'm getting the feeling it might be. That, and because of the amount of reviews, I'm going to say it's been around a long time.
20 videos, have you seen that?
Yeah. Something you got to take into account when you're looking at a listing that you're trying to model for your listing copy is you don't know how that listing started. That listing started, and it might have started with water bottle carrying bag with iPhone pocket. That's it. And it started doing good. And going that direct, that narrow, in my opinion, when you launch a listing is really good because it clearly lets Amazon know this is what this product's about and what it's not about. Now with Rufus, it's even more important. So it's letting Rufus know what your product is about and not about. Rufus is the AI shopping assistant. Then as you gain traction and you start doing good, you bolt on some more stuff. So a lot of the times when you look at a listing that's doing amazing, they're not doing what you see now because of how they look now. It evolved over time. Who knows what they might have started at $29.99 and through a lot of battling with competitors ended at $14.21. So anyhow, but yeah, I like for the main image, just sticking with the main image, I think more of this is worth, what is this? Yeah, so I think something like this would be worth testing against.
Well, she has the same amount of possibilities there, right?
Yeah.
Or, I mean,
I feel like that other one though looks, it is very noisy, overwhelming. She might not be going for that. After looking at the A+, it looks like she's going for a different type of thing. But for conversion, she doesn't have to do everything the other one does.
In the middle somewhere.
Yeah, I would pick foo the heck out of this. And I would, put some money, put some cards. Don't put dollar bills, put hundreds like the other one did. Show the water bottle in here, show don't tell. It obviously has, let me see with durable strength. It obviously has pockets, but it doesn't even mention the pockets here. The other one does mention that it has pockets.
Is that what is this thing selling on? I'm just curious because I would not pay $40 for that. Me personally.
Why wouldn't you pay $40
Because
for
I
it?
don't like the picture. I don't even like it. I'm like, it's not worth $40.
But when you first saw the listing, would you have paid $40? Or would you have been more inclined to pay the $40 when I first pulled it on the screen or after we ripped it?
No, I'd be less because I don't like that picture. I would have left.
Or after you saw that there was somebody else selling something similar for $14.
No, I would have, if I'm searching for something like this and I saw this $40, I would be like, just right off the bat, what else is there?
but this one has the leather, so I might consider the leather for a
No,
second,
I still.
if it's not play leather.
I put some of those the later on A+ content up there at the front. I bet you get bumped up sales.
Yeah, I think so. She probably has like pretty talent that's doing this. They look healthy, like vibrant. I I wouldn't get a strap bag like this. I carry around like a caveman looking thing. But I don't think I'm her. I don't think I'm her
Say that
avatar.
the other listing is afraid to increase the price. I will increase the price of that for.
I'll tell you what, I think she could sell this for $40, but she's got to do a lot to that main image to justify that this is a $40 thing.
But I mean the other listing that is 14, it was 14
1421.
Hold on.
You can put it on 25 without any problem. And
I think so. I think that other one can go to $25, no problem.
My question is, if I see, this is me first, I mean, I teach cycling classes, so it's just me.
You teach cycling?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Really?
You never told me that?
I did tell you.
I heard
that.
DJ extraordinaire, entrepreneur, influencer. I didn't know it was.
And I teach cycling, I teach cycling
Progress
since
forward.
2004. I first started coming down to Miami for the cycling.
Do we got to do like a wizard cycling class?
Do it. I teach 3 classes a week with us. Okay, so but
3?
wait, here's the thing. If I saw this, me personally, go shopping, walking, coffee, or traveling, why isn't there a photo of Jim or someone working out to hold a water bottle? Like, that's the first thing most people would look like.
Yeah, but this is stylish.
This is a
meant to be
cro-
out.
wait,
No, but-
this is a crossover bag like a purse. So someone
Okay,
comes for and wearing it.
crossover bag to what? To go to the gym.
No.
Somebody just walk
This is
around.
a leather bag.
No.
This is nice.
You see these people?
Not everybody's
are-
life
are
revolves
like
around
more or less
fitness.
Dressed
Like-
up, okay?
3 classes a week?
3, that's, I
Jeez.
used to teach 17.
A week?
Yes.
Oh my God, no wonder you're fit.
No, I was actually 30 pounds
like
heavier.
those
That's
pictures-
another
those
story.
pictures
But
there
listen,
are so much
but wait,
better.
but I don't understand.
Oh, there she is. She's at the park.
Is this her?
No, that's not her.
This is not her.
Well, no, not her, but I mean, there she.
Well, I think it is.
Somebody is there.
It is her.
They're at the park.
I think this one would convert, like, as like a secondary image.
I don't know.
I'm gonna go-
I also, one other thing, I think it should say wide shoulder strap, not just wide strap.
Uh-huh, yeah.
You don't think crossbody covers it?
You know, I thought that was the brand name.
Mhm. Now, crossbody is the, like, the
I
style.
never,
Yeah.
I never heard of a style like that.
No, that's a popular
Very, very
crossbody
popular.
bag. It's like a.
Oh, I'm not a woman, so.
Uh-huh.
It's
Let's
like
see-
underwear
let's see what else we got.
pants. Underwear hands.
What do you guys think about this?
Three
What is
whip.
that?
Exactly.
It's for, is that for like
For
whippets?
whipped cream, right?
I don't know.
I know it's a
Argon,
wine,
yes,
it's a wine style.
Remember, people don't read. I should have did this.
Well, how do
Yeah.
you do it?
Oh, right.
Gas houses.
Even reading it, I still don't know what it is.
Exactly. So
Wait,
this is one that was submitted to me to roast, and I wanted to light it on fire.
Did you like?
You didn't submit it to me, did you?
The wine bottle?
Sorry?
Did you drop it inside the wine bottle? I don't understand.
No, exactly.
It's like, I thought they were bowling pins.
Look at this.
So, I'm.
But does it? But look, does this image make sense to you?
No.
But I don't know what, see, like, maybe if I was like, maybe this customer, it does. Like, someone who doesn't use any of this, I don't think it would make sense even if it was great, right? Like, I don't,
But you might-
Even if it's
People,
free.
you know,
Yeah, you gotta
maybe
sell it.
bars and restaurants know what argon gas is, so they just go on Amazon and look for argon.
yeah, like,
Carlos, I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? Suppository.
Yeah.
Carlos, you know what it reminds me of, and it's stuck in my head. Remember you told the story about someone did a shampoo for hairless cats?
Yep.
Okay, if you have a hairless cat, you know exactly what, maybe someone who did, they know what, I don't know what this
I agree, but with the hairless cat listing, there was a hairless cat on the bottle, or there was a hairless cat sitting next to the shampoo.
Okay.
Where does this go? Like, I'm okay. I don't know what this is when I just look at the main image. And that's what I try to do first, is that somebody sends me a listing, I try to go in there, download the main image, upload it right next to the listing that they sent me, and then
How
leave.
big is it?
And then leave. And then that's another one. You don't know how big these things are. Are they bowling pins?
They
Right.
look like bowling pins.
So then I like to be able to go back and look at the main image before clicking into the listing and look at it and be like, what is this? Because it's very difficult once you really know what it is to unsee it. But then I was like, okay, I still don't know. Here, It's not even in the picture.
Uh,
So for me, I start thinking, is this something that goes in the wine bottle?
Right.
Or is this something that, you know, those fancy cork removers? Is this something that pressurizes one of those? Because I was in like the paintball space for a while, and there's like these CO2 cartridges that you pop in, and I'm like, I know the CO2 doesn't go in the wine, but is there like a tool you use to open the wine?
And then fill it up with.
Right, and then they mentioned whip, and I'm like, when I think of whip, I'm thinking of whipped cream. So I was like, the Ready Whip, like I don't, that's not inside of it, but is whipping your wine kind of like, is that a term like when you're sloshing it? Or I didn't think it was, but so is there some kind of like wine frother that whips it? I don't know. But secondary image, I'm still unsure. Third image, I'm kind of thinking, is there metal in my wine?
Right.
Like, is this like metallic taste? And then here we go. So, okay, now it's a cartridge. Each Great Whip Argon cartridge has the ability to pour up to 15.5 ounces, 15.5 ounce glasses of wine.
Oh, so you open up your wine and then you pour it in this vessel?
That looks like a mess waiting to happen. Like, if that's the case, how come I don't see a little funnel that goes in the top? I mean,
And it's also got a flat bottom.
There's actually a dispenser that you put that cartridge in, and then you put it on top of the wine, pour the wine through it, just looking at it.
okay,
But I
right.
didn't know that.
But here we go. Fifth image.
But it doesn't say, it doesn't show.
It's not showing the product in use.
Yeah. Oh, look how off scale that is. It
Yep.
looks like the glass is like towering over, and that's like a Tic Tac.
Is it not?
I have no idea.
Because, I mean, with the first picture.
Here we go.
They're pretty big, and
Wow,
now
look
with
at that.
this last.
It's
picture-
really bad.
And that's it?
That's it. 3.7 stars. We can jump in here and see what it is, but I'm pretty sure. Cylindrical. There. So
It says it comes with something. Go back 2 images. Or adapter.
adapter included with each cartridge. Okay. So main image does not communicate what the product is. It does not communicate the scale of the product. All the rest of the image do not show lifestyle or product in use. Another way to say that. Those would be considered fatal mistakes on a listing. Right. 100 plus bought, 3.7, 9 reviews. My gut tells me, looking at this, I just can't believe that 100 plus bought this in the last month. The fact that it has 9 and it just launched, I'm gonna say all of that is Vine. Like Vine and like relatives, like I just,
Yeah, like people, friends.
yeah.
friends and
$47 isn't usually an impulse buy for a lot of people. If this was an $8 item and someone knew what it was and they bought it, I'd say possible, but no. I'm gonna say this is very misleading. I mean, this is,
It doesn't,
when you have this many things together, you want to have at least a little graphic there that says the amount, so someone doesn't have to count them. So the listing says this is a 10-pack. There should be something here saying 10-pack.
yeah.
Is the cart? You said it's something else is included with it.
Yeah.
It said, yeah,
It-
an adapter.
Included with each cartridge. So where is the other half of this equation in this picture? So it's really bad. And it's silver plastic cylindrical bottle stopper for wine preservation. So I don't understand, how is it pouring all these if it preserves? So it's, yeah, I don't get it. Let's keep going. And no A+. So not only are you thoroughly confused here, you have more, like, why isn't there? And you know how easy it would be to show off like really image-rich, vibrant stuff when you could show wine, red wine, and people having fun and a nice environment. Well, Candace is benefiting from that with your product, but like this example is a great example on what not to do with your product.
Someone's asking if there's still time to submit it.
Submit it. Just let me know where you submit it, and I'll do it. We got time. I mean, Tom and a few other people, I think some of you guys sent me something of listings to open up as well. But if you have something on the stream, yeah, because I made a mistake. And by the way, we've never done a topic like this.
This is a fun one.
Okay.
I like this.
I'd love feedback on that, not to do it all the time, but to get it in our rotation of stuff to do. I dropped the ball though. I let everybody know, send me the listings to roast, and I didn't say how to send them, and I just found that out yesterday. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next one. Oh, we didn't have a next one there.
It's an interesting category. I mean, argon gas is searched for a lot,
Yeah,
you know, but there's nobody in that space. If you do argon gas capsule, if someone were to do that right, and I would imagine it's not sourced from China. Just saying.
yeah. Well, look at this one. I almost brought this one in to do, but since it's on my homepage next to the very offensive rooster harness, I thought this was cool. Do you understand what's happening here?
Oh, yeah.
What is that?
Even if you're not reading, again, like try to go through the exercise.
Well-
Pretend I sent you the main image.
Wolverine came to mind.
But is that what you're really thinking when you see
No,
this at
no,
first?
no.
Is this a lawnmower accessory? Is it a tree thing? Like,
Without reading it,
right.
Freddy Krueger,
I was
Halloween.
literally legit, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, but look,
uh-huh.
this.
It's fantastic.
I was really unsure if this was a gag item or if this was something that someone thought or is a great way to
Nightmare on Elm Street.
shred meat. I was a bit concerned here because I do the slow cooker sometimes, and the meat I'd pull out. I mean, it's falling apart. You could barely get it out. And when you shred it, it's easy with 2 forks. But I'll go so fast trying to show off that you catch yourself sometimes on the hand. There's no guards here between those fingers.
Yeah.
So if you come in,
You
Wolverine yourself.
you're gonna Wolverine yourself. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Is that selling a lot?
It doesn't.
There's a
It
big
doesn't.
player, Mountain Grillers, that's in there. That's a big player. It's got a better guard to it, and
Yeah, it's got a guard to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you could put that with the the man underwear.
The man underwear.
don't put
yeah.
any sauce on it. No sauce in there.
Some saucy underwear hands, right? Oh
Put it
God.
in your hands.
Oh, that's. Yeah, I almost did this one, but
I like that one.
I was conflicted about it afterwards. Okay.
Ooh, I like the glove one. Did you see the glove one?
But how do you wash
This one?
the gloves?
Meat claws. I don't know. Yeah, that's crazy.
Feel a lot of reading.
Oh, what is this?
That's
Clip.
super cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. Hold on a second.
Add it to the car.
Hold on a second. What is this made out of?
Find something cool on it.
Wait,
Leaven and co meat temperature made. Smoker guy, public grilling system. Grilling gifts for men.
So what is this? Just, do you add it to the meat? Do you put it on top of the meat to find out? Or is it just the menu thingy?
No, it's just the temperature guide.
but wait, why does it say grill accessories? Is it it's just the guide?
So just a magnetic guide to put on your smoker or griller to tell you what kind of temperature you want to pull it out at on your Traeger, your.
Oh, temperature
or-
magnet, okay, that's cool. But it's $14.
It would be cooler if you could go ahead and attach like a sensor to that.
Yeah.
And put it in the meat.
Oh, interesting. The
You thinking about something?
no,
No.
nope. Okay, you sent it to me on email.
I sent you a couple other ones we just. Maybe the first one, maybe?
I'm gonna try to open all of them.
Oh, you can open up that one. That's weird.
Really? All right. Here's. You would send me this one. We'll do that one last.
Okay,
Oh,
like
really?
that.
Is that what you're doing?
This is gonna be spectacular.
I knew I should have expected this.
Oh, look at that, do that one, yeah, do that one.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me drag these so I can get a little organized here.
So we got 3 here?
Yeah, we got 3 more. And as the person on the stream said, where they're gonna send me.
No, not yet. It's Pia.
Oh.
You gotta really zoom in on this picture because it's spectacular. I mean, go down a little bit lower.
Yeah, yes. We'll get to that.
What?
Yeah. Okay, so just looking at the listing, I look at the canonical URL. That's something you should do. Start with the main image. So it does the job. You know you're getting something that, well, actually, I feel like you know what you're getting here is a big tub thing. You're not getting something to go in your spice rack. This is probably going to like refill stuff, or you're getting this if you're B2B. Initially, I know where this is going. You know what you're getting. Cayenne, I think the red's good. I think showing that it's in powder form visually, as well as seeing it in here is good. You're showing the product in this type of packaging. If it was opaque or something, I don't think it would be as good. So you get to see, show, don't tell. Anytime you can show, don't tell is good. Heat units for the masochists out there. Easy pour cover, showing in an infographic. So a lot about this listing is right. Then we get down here, which personally I think, and I think it's
I've done it.
intentionally done this way, is what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to sell. I've looked at. Let me just make sure they didn't change on me. Yeah, they're trying to sell a food product for people to consume and use in recipes, and they probably discovered after the fact that a lot of their buyers, probably for this size, are using it for something else. So they wanted to not create a separate listing on it and just encourage or acknowledge that there was this other route to do it. I think that is a huge mistake. But this is what's going on. So protect your lawn and garden to keep animal, birds, and insects away. I might get this today, and nothing against cat people, but my neighbor brought a bunch of cats with them, and they have had their breeding cycles going on now for about a year and a half, and they destroy every plant that I put out. I mean, just, it's gone. They tip over pot. I mean, everything's bad. But more importantly, as soon as you step off the porch of my house, on the right, they've turned that entire section into a litter box, and it just smells like cat poop. And I heard, we got these sensors, like there's sonic things you stick into the ground and you aim them, but their reach isn't that good, and it scares them off for a few days, but then they just get used to it, and eventually they just start sitting and looking at it, and they get closer and closer, and they realize they don't die, and then they knock it over. So
You have a solution?
I did. I just didn't want to hurt the animals. I'm assuming that what's going to happen is they're going to come over here and they're going to give it a good sniff in their litter. It's going to go into their nose.
They're gonna sneeze a lot.
They're going to do more than sneeze. I've seen a dog do this. Like with just, you can do it with black pepper. Like it doesn't even have to be cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper is like, it's going to feel like razor blades in their nose.
No, I've done that.
Yeah, so-
For
I
the
was
cat.
curious about the infographics and stuff, so.
Yeah, so, but you know what? I'm going to add it to cart.
But you only have 3 in your car. I have like
Yeah.
10,000 things.
Is there stuff in my cart? That means my wife's shopping. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see. Yep, these are not mine, guys, just so you know. This is not what I wear around the house. Andres' birthday's coming up.
Sure.
Yeah, look at that.
This,
Candy molds.
And you know
Well,
that
you know,
the boxer,
that's to play around with,
the glove box or whatever.
the new PL.
You could go ahead and do it in different colors too. I mean, the possibility.
I'm in the lab doing a lot of different molds for a PL, so I'll claim this one. I'm not claiming Andres' birthday gift. So yeah, I love the main image on this. I think it is they obviously did really well. They're selling 4,000 a month. You're probably like, Carlos, don't second guess them. I think they would be doing slightly more than 4,000 a month, because again, people don't read. So I think most people that are buying this don't read this. I'm gonna say this too. When I get this, have you ordered this product? Does it say that on the product, or is it superimposed here? Yeah. I would have guessed that this is not actually written on the product, that they just wrote this and superimposed it, but it is. What they should have done, in my opinion, is create a secondary listing that was just for, insects and lawn. And the problem, and this is probably the conversation they had, is selling say you sell food for babies, and then you're like, wow, I also noticed that Labradors love this. And then you create another product under your brand for Labrador desserts, you're probably not going to want to buy their baby product too much anymore, right? And
Oh, okay.
right, so their brand is around Fresh Finest, deciding they're going into like basically pest, you know, anti-pest, pesticide, lawn care, would have been not good for the brand, which means even if they created a secondary listing, it shouldn't go under the same brand, which meant they would have to create another Amazon storefront, and their Amazon team probably hit the eject button on that and said, well, we're willing to be turned off by the few that do read and that still won't buy. That's my take. But if you're doing this, this is a really good thing to do when you're looking at a listing and you're like, wow, there's this completely secondary use of this product.
Clone it. Clone.
Yeah, clone it into something, but do it completely different. Like have it under a different, if it's worth doing, do it under a different brand. You could have one product under that brand on a different Amazon account, but do it separately. If you care about branding in your brand. Everything else here is good. This is stock. This is a stock photo that you can get.
Shutterstock.
Yeah, probably Shutterstock. I know Adobe Stock has it. This is very simple, but you know, right to the point.
That's cool. Oh, no.
The person on the stream, is that Berto from Jacksonville?
No, Alberto Perez.
Alberto Perez.
You said Berto?
Yeah.
Oh, say hi.
Berto, what's up, man? Berto, I don't have to open an Amazon meetup to go up there. Let me know when you want to hang out, and I will go to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and tell him I'll.
Patty's here too. Like we'll both go. Yeah, and Berto's there. Alberto is long time member of this community.
He was one of the founding members.
He is. Yeah, he's right there as one of the founding members. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's missed. All right. Again, this is a great shot. You know, obviously, real peppers chopped like this are not inside, but it's show don't tell. Being able to tap those senses, like I feel like the water. You know, didn't that happen when you saw this? You're like that saliva, extra saliva being created
Just by looking at
this, those seeds. Jesus, right? So this was lazy. This is stock that had this superimposed in here. I hate seeing that when someone does a listing that's really good and then they drop one of these in here, but they probably think it's a great thing to do because they sell 4,000 a month.
So they do have other products besides like high-end?
They do, yeah.
Okay.
They do, but this is the only one they sell. They just listed all the other ones, and this is the only one that sells.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Here you go. Here's the next one. By the way, if the person on the stream chimes in and says where they sent me that listing, yeah. All right. So same exercise. If you're looking at this, what do you know what the product is? I guess unless you're in the niche, you really don't. If you're in the niche, you do, but you know it has to do with bananas immediately. I'm not sure if the product itself required one of these darker jars, but
Is it like the same thing as the vanilla? Because I know that Berto and Cindy used to go ahead and sell the vanilla.
yeah, I made that connection. I wasn't gonna, yeah. Cindy would have been the one to ask, but this so if you have a food product and you can show it, it's always better. It's almost always better. In this case, the jar that was used might just be because the light can't hit the product or it can do damage to it, and then you can't get around that. This packaging, though, is horrendous.
What's horrendous about it to you?
Everything.
Why?
Well, is this a dent
No, I think that's a reflection.
of what?
Of the light.
The light or the camera, I don't know.
Why
I
doesn't
hope he
it
didn't
be
pay
there?
the person.
Why doesn't it be there?
What?
Did he also not pay, did he pay the person for that?
Yeah,
Like,
no, yeah.
yeah, you're right. You know, this looks like office lighting. This doesn't even look like intentional.
Yeah, it's office lighting.
Yeah, this is bad. So let's just start with why this image is bad.
They didn't even use a light box,
It-
right?
the bananas don't look appetizing, first of all. The size of this, look how much white space there is around this. Like, the more of that that's full, the more you feel like you're receiving. The more you feel like it justifies the price. I think they could increase, no, I don't even think, I know. 500 bought in the past month. I think I could get this to $650 a month just by scaling up their bottle, right? Just especially with this low price. You're like, oh my God, what's a steal? Even if I'm not, absolutely in love with it, look how much I'm getting. You heard the one about the quarter pounder and the third pounder? So quarter pounder was sold by, who sells the quarter pounder? McDonald's. And was it Arby's? Who was it? Somebody decided to go head to head. Can you look it up? Look up the quarter pounder burger.
Was it, Burger King, wasn't it Burger King?
Right, so somebody creates a third, I want to find out who the person is. Put third pounder versus quarter pounder story. So somebody creates a third pounder to compete with the quarter pounder and sells.
Recently, or this is a while
No, this is a while back, and they decide to do it in the U.S. You've heard this story? They decide. A&W. A&W create. Can you read it real quick? What they show, or is it too long?
A&W third pound burger failed in the 80s because people thought a quarter pound is bigger than a third.
Because it says 1 and a 4,
Oh my
and the
God,
4 is
that's
bigger than a
very
3.
bad.
It failed. They did it, and when they polled everybody afterwards and they asked them about it, they said, "Why would I pay the same amount for less burger?" Right? That's what happened. So
That's
when you're creating your listing, you should have in the front of your mind that quarter pounder, third pounder story. So you scaling this up is taking that story into account. You could have 4 fluid ounces on the bottle and just scale the bottle bigger, and they're gonna feel like they're getting more. Same 4 ounces, obviously. So I hate the title. Well, let's get this, I'm sorry, let's go back to the main image because there's so much wrong about this listing. The quality of the image is bad. A listing like this, first of all, this was done with a camera, right? This is supposed to be a 3D render. Nowadays on Amazon, there's no reason not to do that. Like, this could be, the things you can do with a 3D render for something like this is just, hey, this could be done with AI. It should not have been done with just like a regular camera. But this looks like it was done with a camera, and the person's like, I'm gonna get it right on this shot because I don't know how to use Photoshop even. So like, whatever we get after I hit click, that's what we're going with.
Do they have Photoshop those lights?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I don't know why they decided to put banana in French too. I believe that's French, right?
Yeah.
How many languages are you gonna put on
Maybe because bakers.
Emulsion.
there?
Emulsion. Okay, so hold on. So bananas are kind of like to the side and an afterthought. The thing's not scaled. It should be a 3D render. You should put the banana outside
Yeah.
of the product itself. And banana looks like, if you like banana, like banana will trip the taste buds. Where is it made? Right, so that's the other one. Where does it say it's made? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know where it's made. Let's assume that it's made in the USA. You could do a made in the USA somewhere. I wouldn't have built it into the packaging, but I would superimpose it.
French would probably maybe better.
Oh, maybe, yeah. If it's for this type of product, if it's from France, I'd put that. Even though I don't think most Americans would know what the French flag is. It's true. I'm not wrong.
Yeah, people will buy it, especially bakers will buy that because they think it's fancier anyway if it's made in France.
Yeah, especially for anything baking. Yeah, that would have a lot more impact than made in the USA. I guess that's fine.
What are the reviews they have? Maybe there's just.
But it might be Canadian also, where they have to label things in both English and French. In Canada, you have to label things in both English and French. It might be Canadian.
It might be Canadian, yeah. This is,
What is that? Put it like behind, like, I'm blind, I can't see.
No, it's not that.
But exactly, you're also someone that could potentially have been buying this, and now you're just like, nah, you making me feel like I can't see.
Yeah, no, it's just, okay.
So I don't know how important this is going to be for somebody with this, but it is possible that if it is, this could be a nice laminated card that's set right next, that came with it inside of its packaging, and it would give you the opportunity to have it sitting next to here. But you guys know what I'm going to say here. Andres, you know where I'm going to go with this? Recipes with an app
Yeah.
would really stand out here. And you'd be able to show some banana mixed, or I don't know what you make with this thing, but banana bread, something that just trips the freaking senses and shows you a step-by-step guide on all the recipes you can do with this with an app. This thing goes from a $9.53 for 4 ounces, I'd say, to a $19.99 or $14.99, which is massive. I mean, you 150% profit easily on something like that just by adding it. And at the amount that they're selling, having that app on the side would be more profitable than the product that you're selling because it's existence. So like a lot that can be done with the main image. But again, if this card could be something that is included in the app, or it's a laminated index card, assuming it's important enough, because it says bakery emulsions suggested uses guide. Well, maybe your app shows the bakery emulsions suggested user guide, and that's what's there. This, it's like, oh cool, somebody decided to get their Canva face. Somebody decided to get their new Canva guide.
That reminds me of the bands out of Curious George. It was so bad.
And I was like, oh wow, so you do know how to grab renders and put them on a yellow background.
Okay, this is a little bit
It
better.
is better, but that is not at like. You wouldn't see that in a
But that banana.
Cheesecake Factory. I kind of think sets the standards for like the pictures of cheesecakes, right? And stuff. Is it cheesecake? No.
No,
Oh, you got to do banana stuff.
no, but the banana was rotten over there.
And they got all your videos. Okay, well that looks a lot better, but.
No, but you have the lights still.
Mm-hmm.
Is that your stuff? Is that your,
That's gonna be
Okay.
your category?
Yeah, that'll be a target.
Let's go to their A+.
Oh, wait.
Also, don't they have to have a white background? Can they use that? They can't use that yellow background.
Not for their main image, no.
Oh, okay.
For the main-
But,
Right.
Yeah, this is it's really bad.
Look at the shadows. Oh, oh.
Those are not real bananas. They don't even look like real bananas.
No, they look. It's
I
horrible.
thought you'd have fun with that.
Oh, this thing.
Well, we got. So in their brand story, they didn't even create a unique brand story per listing. They were just like, this is the one we created. I bet you this is the one that shows up across all their products. 3 to 4 times stronger than additional extracts, than traditional extracts. Still no banana. So remember what happens. You go down to the A+ because you're not sold on something up front. So we just went down here and they just flipped the script. Like, we're not even talking about bananas anymore.
Yeah.
So they're introducing everything else.
I mean, look, nothing. No banana. Still no banana. That's it. So everything about that listing was bad, except, and maybe the only thing you should care about if you're here, that over 20,000 reviews and still sells 500 a month. So if you're there, you're kind of like, well, I really don't care what you're saying. The thing is, you don't know how they started. But if you got them and we were like, well, this is what it takes to sell, and all I need to do is slightly beat them, and that should mean that I'm automatically going to do better, that is also not true.
So they're not gonna change anything?
So I wonder
Because-
They won't, but it opens up opportunities for you to get in. Like, they should be looking at this now like, hey, we're probably in a really good spot right here. Let's keep an eye on who's trying to, you know, encroach us. Yeah, but they don't care.
Carlos, I remember when I was selling in Canada, and if you sell a product in Canada, the label has to be in English and French on the label. It's a labeling requirement, so I'm wondering if that's why they sell it there too.
Maybe.
Does it have
State of
a
Michigan.
label?
It's from Michigan.
It is?
They sell it down here.
Does the instructions in the back, I mean, we haven't seen the back of the bottle, right? They don't show it anywhere?
No, they don't.
No.
I mean, they're big, don't get me wrong, they're big in the extracts industry. They're really big there.
Oh, check this out, you guys. For anyone you want to see, my wife just sent me a picture while we're having this class. She says, at the mall with my other husband. So we were all wondering where the new VIP of the group was at after his, what's the article was going to get rid of? Wall Street Journal. Well, Mr. Wall Street Journal's having lunch with my wife.
Maria Bartiromo, right? From,
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal.
I hope his cheap self is paying. They're doing,
I had an interview yesterday with the Wall Street Journal at his house
Really?
to complain, well, to tell a story about how Amazon sellers are being impacted severely by tariffs imposed by the current administration. He was telling his side of the story.
Wait, is Maria's not really there? That was a joke, right?
huh?
Well,
Maria's-
I
Maria
figure
was
if he's
there
going
too?
after Wall-
Maria.
Yeah.
Maria Barrett.
Bartiromo. I mean, I figure if he's going after the Wall Street Journal, might as well go for Maria next. I mean,
Sure.
Maria's with
Team
Fox.
Maria.
No, they're at the mall doing
Fox Business, right?
videos for. She's helping him do some videos of his product, his game products. He wants to do some videos of like street interview type stuff.
Oh, okay.
And apparently I was too negative about it, so he recruited my wife. So yeah, make sure to rib him about that when you see him again. Okay, next one. Lemon tree fertilizer. What's wrong with this main image?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
What the fuck?
Please.
Did you pull this from your phone?
Why? It's not showing up. What?
No. What category is this? Yeah, no, the main image is shrunk.
It's what?
Shrunk. Look at the size of the main.
Exactly.
Look.
That's not.
Yeah. So, main image. We know exactly what it is. Looking at it, we know it's a spray. We know what it's for. We see the brand. We got the visuals, show don't tell. Ounces. I'm sure they had a justification for doing this, but it's there's a lot better things that could be put here to increase conversions than what this 2x size, 2x value. I'm not sure there's enough to really compare against. If you want to say something like this, first of all, you're playing with Amazon's rules kind of loosely by saying that. But what you want to do here is you want to get in one of your secondary images, you want to show your product, and then you want to show grayed out silhouettes. Like say you have a competitor that has a unique shape, this works even better. But if not, you just show like grayed out silhouettes of your competition in different sizes, and then show yours in full color, and then say 2x the size, 2x the value. So you're basically showing, here's the size of our competitors, here's our size, and you're in color. There, you being in color and them grayed out helps you, because it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz when the color comes on. But it also keeps you on the right side of legal, because if you call out your brand and show the other brand names in there, they're going to hit you for copyright stuff. So this is weak, but they're weekly selling 400 plus a month. Yeah,
It takes away from takes your focus off from the bottom.
it does. Yeah, it's off. It should also be a different color if you were trying to pull something like that off, and not the yellow to compete with the lemons. But secondary, I hate that these things are so small.
Yeah, it's not a leader in its category.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
okay, but it's not a leader in the category for lemon tree fertilizer.
Yeah, no, I like that they brought it. They're keeping the lemon theme. Let's go back. There's no lemon. Like there should be a lemon. That thing just screams like what, citrus, and like they look juicy. Like there's so many great lemon shots that you could get.
Yeah.
Do you find that the label on that is so busy? Like the actual label saying all those things on it? Like the label
Yeah.
on the bottle? Too many lemons or too little, or I don't know. Does it, remember you talked before?
It's a lot of white space, so I would scale up the bottle. I wonder how much of that would be the case if it was scaled up instead of looking so small.
I like the logo.
Would you make
You do?
a word fertilizer larger than lemon tree?
Didn't you say too, Amazon picks up the name of the product on the actual packaging itself too?
Yeah,
How do you enhance
it reads images, so keywords that you put in the images, it does pick up. I don't know, I'd have to see it. I'm really bad with, as you can see from like my fashion sense or whatever, like I'm really good at knowing what converts. Like if you show me something, I'll tell you why it converts and why it won't. And I could, but like what you just asked, lemon tree goes longer than fertilizer. And then they're also the same height and the same
Right,
typography.
same size.
So you're saying should fertilizer be bigger and maybe even go longer? I'd have to see it. When I see it, I'd know. But just my mind doesn't let me stretch it out. You're excellent with stuff like that. Like you see something a mile away, and that's how you pick me as a business partner.
Bruce, other brands are doing the opposite. They're putting lemon tree as the bigger, putting fertilizer smaller.
This is great. This is kind of like what we just said with like, instead of with a silhouette, by showing like, this is what your lemons look like without fertilizer, and this
Oh,
is what
that's
they do.
good.
Yeah. Something tells me it's the opposite. Yeah. Like with all the junk and stuff that are put everywhere, this is what they look like because of that, and this is what they normally look like, but whatever. Good, that's really good. I would consider putting that as secondary and do away with premium plant care for thriving lemon trees, and then just show a bad lemon and a good lemon and kind of draw like arrows with,
But you know, anybody.
you let it be more visual.
If you know anything about it, you would say the one on the left is being eaten by insects, not the fertilizer has nothing to do with it.
If what?
No, because those leaves are being eaten by insects.
Oh, yeah, good point. So you want to show, like what I'm saying, just show the lemons.
If you know what you were looking at.
Right, so you want to show, I would say white background, show both lemons. It's going to highlight the differences of those lemons with arrows going to each, and one be without the fertilizer.
Carlos,
Sad face, smiley face, play with that.
if you go to the main image of it, so here's my question to you. So lemon tree fertilizer, I don't know, I've seen other people play with the name instead of fertilizer, lemon tree booster, lemon tree max, lemon tree. What is your take on how that impacts sales? Like I've seen other people do
Max?
citrus tree booster, and because it says booster, it does a whole lot better than someone just saying fertilizer there. So, like playing with a unique kind of name for the.
I would test it on PickFu. I'm a fan. I've rarely been able to do anything like this, but if you're going to give it that much thought, you've heard me say this before, but there's a
P90X trade market kind of thing.
there's a brand who's purchased 2 cigar accessory brands from me in the past, and before buying the first one from me, we actually got into a lawsuit with each other. Like they sued us because their listings on Amazon would say Sure Seal Technology on their humidors. Humidors are the cigar boxes. And I, in my ignorance, decided I wanted to compete with their listings, and I was like, I know that my humidors are manufactured at the same factory as yours. When I go there, we're on the same lines, we're on the same everything. I've opened yours, I've bought yours. We're identical. There is no extra thing in yours. So I started putting Sure Seal Technology on mine. I said it. So he sues me. So what they did was they trademarked Sure Seal Technology and then spent dollars on social media and everything educating people on, like, when you search for humidors, make sure it has Sure Seal Technology so you can protect your expensive cigars. So they needed to do that effort though for this to work out. So now there's existing search on Amazon for people looking for humidors with Sure Seal Technology, and guess what? The only ones that can come up are theirs. So they sued us. So when I sell him my first brand, my first cigar accessory brand, I told him, I was like, hey man, tell me, what the heck is this Sure Seal Technology, right? It wound up costing me I needed to give him 100% of all my sales that used Sure Seal Technology. It was not cheap because they didn't really catch it immediately. And he goes, this is his words, not mine. We just have some random little Chinese guy at the end of the line, and he opens the lid and he drops it and it goes poof.
Stop it.
That's exactly what he told me. And I said, I paid you what? You know, like, it doesn't matter. You got the trademark and you educate people into it. That's all it was. So, but the thing is, when you close the lid of all humidors, they need to kind of have that poof, because they're trapping in they need to be able to trap in at least a little bit of the relative humidity that's inside of it. That's it. A jewelry box does that. So that's what he did. So to your point, I would just pick Foo, the Max and the Booster and all that there, and whatever works fine. But if you want to go that extra level, it would be, what is a word that just is something different, but that seems good? Slap a trademark on it. You might be burning the trademark money away, but if you're willing to start creating some content around this, and everything you do is like strategically mentioning your Sure Seal spray or your Sure Seal Sure Fresh, whatever, then it can become worth it, because you're now you want to get the majority of your sales, everyone hopes, to come from branded search. If you could create another little channel where some of that is coming from your trademarked search, your Sure Seal search, that's amazing. Nobody else can do it. Like, they cannot put that in their listing.
Also, could you go down to the third pick? No, the left, the third, yeah. Me, just picking, like, wouldn't it be better to say premium plant care to have thriving lemon trees? I might feel like, well, if it's already thriving, maybe I don't need you.
I don't even know if the verbiage there. I think just the images is what I
Yeah.
think Carlos is getting at, just images.
Yeah, there's you see this image here?
Yeah.
So the title over here is Testing If Sharks Can Smell a Drop of Blood, right? If that person writes text right there and says, can sharks really smell blood in the water? Would that be as powerful of a picture? No, because you had to like spell it out. Like this image communicates a lot more powerfully, the image alone, than adding some text overlay to it. So when that's kind of like where you want to be usually, or almost always, and then it's difficult to pull off something like that. So that's why, especially when you get into education, like you're educating someone on a product, or most YouTube thumbnails, like if I'm doing something on YouTube, it usually has some text and icons and numbers and stuff in the thumbnail, because when you're getting into the education side of thing, it's harder to pull off just an image like that. So when you get back to this, I think showing the lemon that looks unhealthier versus the lemon that does it on a white background that makes the yellows pop with just arrows does enough. I feel like this extra text is distracting. It's taking away from the impact. But I would test it on PickFu, and I would go with the winner.
Okay.
Their fourth one. Yeah, it's kind of underwhelming. It's not, this stuff's not bad. They're, instead of just leaving this as blocky text, they highlighted some of these so you can see the stuff that's here. Again, this looks like a Canva thing. Am I wrong with that, Andres? These look like little Canva templates? Yeah. I'm not sure what just happened here. Is that a spray or is that sun? That looks like fake sun. Yeah, it's really weird. That's the only image I've seen so far. Easy to apply for your convenience. I'm not sure. But they probably mix lemon tree fertilizer with water and spray on leaves, trunks, branches, and flowers until dripping occurs.
This is the weirdest thing. If you had a tree, you really gotta walk around your tree and spray it. So it's wild. I don't know. What was the question? You had a tree. First of all, you probably have many trees if you have citrus trees. But if you have a tree where you can walk around and spray it, usually you put that in the root system, and that's your fertilizer. You apply it to the actual outside. It's more of a fungicide on the outside.
Yeah. Anybody else have a product did you send me any? Did anybody else send me any? Where?
only used powdered fertilizer on citrus before.
Yeah, I like this brand. Yeah, I like a lot of stuff about this brand. They really know how to play this. This is a good one you sent. I'm gonna be hard pressed to do this one. I already know their canonical URLs are always on point. It's like one of the first things they do. I don't like these blocky titles, but for this type of product, or anytime you're talking about an electronic or a lot of compatible stuff, you kind of need to do it. I also find the people that get supplements or things that are medical or closer to medical, they read more usually than other types of listings. They still don't read everything, which is scary, but I find like supplements seem to read the most. Also with supplements, there's this balance when you're creating a listing that's between the experience of the person that needs to buy it, you're catering to them, and you're also catering to the algorithm because it needs to be served up. You try to make it, I think the sweet spot is 60% for the experience of the person, 40% for the algorithm. I think that flips when you get into supplements, maybe even like more than flips, like 70-30, that it needs to be 70% algorithm, 30% person. Otherwise you're gonna be irrelevant, but man, they're nice. Look at this. I'm not even sure what's going on here.
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know, but it looks clean, looks beautiful, looks healthy. But super EPA, omega-3 fatty acids.
Looks like a supplement. It looks like
Looks
it
like
would
the
be on
ocean.
the label of a supplement.
Yeah. Yeah, what's going on? They immediately jump into like what's on the back. Also keep in mind, these guys do really, really good. Like their brand as a whole, I has to be doing a few $100 million a year on Amazon, but that's nothing compared to what they do off of Amazon. So like a lot of what they do on Amazon just comes from the fact of somebody that's like, I no longer want to go by the store and buy this thing, I'm just gonna buy it on Amazon. Which, when that happens, you're usually looking at a listing that looks like crap, and they're just riding what happened. These guys, though, they know their stuff. What were you gonna say?
And they have a challenge on there because the product is all white, so it's against white.
Yeah, but you see what they did? They could have done a little better, but they played with the temperature of this white on white. They could have did a little better, and this helps. But they got some shadow here. This line helps. Here it gets a little lost. Yeah, but white on white's hard. 10,000 bought in the last month. Wow. You think they're adopting? Okay, here's some things I think they'd be nice if they did differently. In the supplement space, people like to know where the thing is made. This would be a good spot to have that. Show don't tell. They probably got lazy here, but the pills, the capsules, or the powder that's inside of them or whatever could easily be displayed in a nice way outside of it. The scale of it could be good. You know, some people are like, oh, these must be huge horse pills, and I just can't do that. You know, that should...
But that will deter somebody from buying. So if you see a horse pill,
Well,
we'll say, hey, no.
but if you receive 90 horse pills when you get them, it's also going to do a return. I'd rather discourage someone from not sort of trick them into buying, or I'm going to get a negative review. So losing the one sale or opening myself up to the cost of a $2,500 negative, so I usually go the other way. It doesn't say, there's no ingredient that I see that I think is recognizable by everybody. So like if this thing had like orange in it, I think showing an orange would make sense. But how do you show omega-3 fatty acids? I think that's what they did.
Yeah, that's what fish oil looks like.
Yeah. But here they showed it here. That's I hope it is it really that big? I wonder if that's just, there's no way. No, it can't be. That's my entire pinky. That's an inch. Okay. Well, so it shows it. I think there's demarcator lines, if I'm saying those things right.
Yeah, but it doesn't show
It'd be,
how big that is.
yeah. I think they could have done good there.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. We're getting some scale here. Yeah, it's big. No, it's a really good listing. I bet their A+ looks. What happened here? Oh, Keepa. Yeah, I don't love this. This is the branding though they have, and it's really worked for them. I mean, they are the 800-pound gorillas in this space. They're using premium A+. That's great. We got an invite. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. I don't know if it's going to make more money or how they're going to do it, but the Amazon Influencer Program, we have an invite now to where what's going to happen is in A+ premium for brands, you have, like for example, let's say this product has, oh, you don't have to guess. This product has 8 videos put on there that were put on there by Amazon influencers that they didn't, let's just say it has 30 videos that Amazon influencers have uploaded on this product. They didn't know these Amazon influencers, they were just put up. They like some of them, they wish some of them didn't exist or whatever, but now in different areas of the listing, the brand is going to be able to, and we're just starting to set it up, the brand's going to be able to get one of our Amazon influencer videos and say, we want that showing up in a different spot on our listing in the premium where they can put in videos. So here you'd have additional slots or a carousel showing some of the Amazon influencer videos that we've created. And again, we haven't made a penny from this yet, but when they click on one, ideally if they watch it and it leads to a conversion, you would get paid.
Wait,
But
do you need to say like, you have to confirm and give your permission, or they're just
no,
telling
the
you,
brand,
"This is what we're doing now"?
no, they show you, like the brand gets to go in and the brand's gonna be able to see all of the videos in one dashboard
And take it if they love it.
and choose the ones that they want to show up in different areas of their A+ premium.
But Carlos, but my question is, when I submit these videos, some of them show up in really good spots and some don't show up at all. So I feel
Yeah.
like they're already doing that, aren't they? I don't, like, if
No.
the
So,
brand-
okay, so Amazon is placing them in the carousel or in the top of the video and the random places that they put them. This is not that. So
Right.
what you're talking about is this and
Oh, so the brand could put it all the way up top.
so in the A+ content,
Okay.
we got an
Got
invite
it.
to where you have to, you're basically just saying, I agree.
Wait, when did you get that? Because I don't.
Like 3 weeks ago?
Is that, so what if you don't agree?
I don't know. I mean,
I
I
didn't
agree.
see
They want to
that.
show the videos more and give me more of an opportunity to make money. I don't think it's.
No, but did every Amazon, did they send that to everyone? I'm sure they did.
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
no. But anyhow, it's a cool thing to know as a brand and as a creator on the Amazon influencer side. So this
Where
is.
do you think that's going to go? I would think that goes to creator connections, reaching out to the brand, being very specific about what you wanted that video to place that video in that spot.
Yeah, you don't place it. The brand themselves say.
But I'm just saying the brand is probably going to want to make sure that whatever you're saying
Yeah.
aligns with what they want.
Right, the brand gets, in the invite, they show you a dashboard of what the brand would see, and it looks like a page that shows all the videos that influencers have posted on their products, that tag their products on Amazon, and then they have a picker that they can pick. It shows that they can pick more than one, I don't know what it's maxed at, and then it would just,
So what about
I think what,
negative video?
they won't select it. If you're the brand, you wouldn't select that one.
But you are given the option.
Most, if you're gonna leave a negative video or a negative review of a product, normally you just leave a review. But most people that are in the influencer program, they're posting something to get someone to buy the product so that they can get a commission. Sometimes though, if you really wanna stand out, you say something that's not too bad about it, but like you wish this thing had this, it just shows that you're being more authentic. And that could help someone say, oh, you know what, that makes sense. You know, I was concerned that this person might just be saying whatever, but now they're saying, you know, they wished it was blank, that makes sense, but that's not that big of a deal to me, so I'll do it. So,
I don't know if I'm making sense about what I'm saying. Like, you may like, as a brand, you may like my video, but you may also not like certain parts of my video. So where does that interaction lead between the brand and you as the UGC creator to say,
I don't know.
no, I see that coming, don't you?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was the brand and I looked at a dashboard that easily showed me all this stuff and I liked anything, I would just click on that person, I'd go find them, and I'd
That's what I'm saying.
yeah. But I think it's geared more towards new brands that are starting on Amazon, because remember that used to be the thing, which was you could enroll your products and get 5 reviews. There was like this temporary program on Amazon that you can get like your first 5 reviews pretty quick, and that was geared mostly to help new brands starting on Amazon. This looked like if you're like, let's just say Candace, and Candace is launching her product, she is not going to go out and do a video shoot just because it would be cost prohibitive at that stage, and get a young person, an old person, a white person, a black person, a brown person, a male, a female, doing all these different things. But she could keep an eye out on her dashboard to show when somebody came in that gave a different look or a feel of her product that she liked, and then she could add it to try to resonate. And it would be so much more affordable than if she got a videographer and talent and set up a bunch of photo shoots or video shoots.
Yeah, I guess what I'm saying is it's going to probably lead to
Yeah.
Candace's brand reaching out to whoever's the influencer and saying, hey, listen, I want to actually own part of your content. I want to own part of Andres' content and make your own stuff together.
Did you get that email?
I don't know how fast the boss used it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really nice layout for A+ Premium. For those of you that are using A+ Premium, this is like a clinic on how to do it.
How much is A+ Premium?
There's some hacks to get around it right now to not pay, but I've heard people paying as much as $1,000 to $1,500 or
Per listing or
per listing. Yeah. Most people I know though don't pay that, and they just do the workaround constantly until it works, and then when it unlocks, you get it. Let's see.
You know a guy?
I do. I do know a guy. Yeah, man, this is a great listing. It's very difficult. It's a very difficult listing to do, and they did it right. Like the team behind Thorn like really knows their stuff. Any questions from the stream? No? Any questions from anybody else? Feedback on, not now, but I really would like it. Otherwise, I mean, we're trying to introduce some new things. One of them is the beginner PPC tips. The other one is occasionally having a teardown one. I'll do a better job at showing you guys where you can send that to me, because I know some people don't want to show their listing, so you can do it anonymously or whatever. If you can send a message like, hey, I did like that kind of topic, that's enough. You don't have to like get on the phone call with me or anything like that, for those of you who don't like to do that. It would help. I don't want to, I have fun with these and tearing them down. I do this every day. So, yeah,
I think this type of subject is one of the most helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think it is, and it works dual, because it can work for eBay. I mean, you're talking about.
Yeah, I used to do them with eBay, yeah.
And stuff like that. And,
Yeah.
You know, we can go ahead and like push it towards.
We could do them on websites, and what's the difference between websites
I think
and
this is great for those of you who have products that want to see what your competitors are doing in a kind of an indirect way,
Yeah.
so you know how to improve your listing when you do bring it out.
yeah, if you do want to stay, that's a great way to look at it. If you want to stay anonymous with it, send me your competitors to tear down. Switch.
That's what I just did.
Two, right?
I'm really glad I had that idea. I'm really glad I thought to say it that way.
Lemon, banana, extracted, what was?
Yeah, so what else?
Kind of pepper.
Okay.
Yeah, just I guess a recap of some of the products. Well, no, we did these funny ones.
I thought actually, if you go back to the cayenne pepper,
Yeah, it is.
if you go back to the cayenne pepper, it did have everything like you said, except I thought it was a poor representation of the product.
You did?
Yeah, I thought that it looked like it was an open container. It looked like it was, it had been used. It didn't look pristine to me.
Give me a second, let me go back and take a look.
But it's a $12 product, so you know you're gonna use a capital.
Oh, you think it should be closed?
Well, I thought so, and it looked like it was, they had poured some of it out. And it looks like, it's foggy up there. Looks like it's an old bottle.
Yeah, I don't disagree with any of that. Now that I look at it, here's this light reflecting right here, and I think the way the light is hitting here is making it look foggy. I'd break up this rock, make it a little finer, and like uniform, and yeah, good call. I think the lid though, I'm not sure I'm there on the
It's
lid,
pouring mechanism that
they're trying to call out.
But it looks like it's old.
Yeah, the problem with that pouring mechanism, believe it or not, it's got big slats to it. So if you're not sprinkling vigorously, like this is more for the critters than it is to put on top of a pepperoni pizza. I'm sure you can get a pepperoni pizza.
Oh my
But I
God.
do think that the main image should have, if you go to the fourth image down, Carlos, fifth image down, where you show the crushed pepper, down a little more, that one. I think it'd be nice if you had that crushed pepper outside of the main image as well.
And it still has that rock on the other one. The flip it, get the other, it's
They
still,
just
yeah, they just shut, they
Yeah.
really shake the can really.
You know what though? I'm gonna buy one of the ones that I did just to support the person that did this, and I know somebody that would actually like one of these. So, one thing here is I can't just check out straight away anymore. Oh, did I? Oh yeah, I'm getting that. Wifey, share it. Yeah. So. Cool. All right. So I'll leave an honest review of the product.
Once you get the product.
But I'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. The one that gets the best, the one that did the best out of all the roasts that I do whenever I do it, I'll buy the product to support. So if you want to get a sale out of it.
Yeah, those bullet
Just-
things, that was, I think, the worst one. The one bullet.
Yeah. I'd love someone to just educate me on what these things are. Where are
I
they?
still don't understand what it is.
Yeah. CO2 cartridges. I mean, isn't that crazy though? After looking at the listing and everything about it, we still don't know. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching on the stream. Thank you guys for coming out. The feedback's really appreciated. Thank you for engaging on the stream. Andres, thank you for manning the stream and staying awake. This looks really exciting to you.
I really want to know that bottle stopper, does that like screw into, well, there's no screw in a
I was
bottle.
thinking that they throw the thing inside the bottle of wine,
Good.
and then that will keep the wine fresh.
Go down in the list and you will see
That's what happened.
the complimentary products. You will see the equipment.
But you
That's
go
the
there,
image
exactly.
Is the equipment that you use. You put it on the bottle, and the gas pull the wine out.
But that's 296.
Oh, so you pop it in after you've used it, and then it sucks out all the extra
You
air.
cannot pour the wine from
It's not to pour the wine.
No, it's to keep your wine fresh. And
Fresh.
Argon gas keeps your wine fresh.
Fresh.
And so this is almost like a canister.
I've noticed that my MD 2020 never needs to stays fresh
That's not long.
Because
in the sun, inside.
Clearly you have a drinking problem. That's a bottle of wine. That's a problem.
Well, that's enough.
Very good.
No,
But,
you know what they do it in the cruise, Carlos, they allow you like what, one bottle of wine or two bottles of wine per person. We always bring ours and then they take it back to the back of the restaurant and they keep it for you and every night when you have dinner. So I'm thinking that something like that might work because you just put that thingy inside and it keeps it fresh. That's what I'm thinking that, I mean, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, well, Rupina messaged and said thank you for the roast, so she did listen. All right, I'm gonna wrap up here. I'm gonna hang out a little bit, maybe order something in or get something to eat, something. But thank you.
By the way, for those of you who don't have your real ID yet and you're going to travel May 7th, you need a real ID, which is a little star before the driver's license. On May 7th, you'll be able to travel and go to the government doors. So just check your ID and make sure you have it.
What does that mean?
You gotta redo your ID.
It's called a real
Huh?
ID, so on your driver's
I'm gonna end it now.
license, you'll have a little star.
Last time I went to go eat, And we were over there and I started seeing, hey, is this still happening? Like hours later, I forgot to turn the stream off.
Does that make your mouth work?
If you don't, go get it.
It would be, $10,035 each.
Because otherwise
Because
we
it's,
can't.
can't go to federal building.
Imagine all the money that is behind to complete
Just saying it's coming.
I'm gonna turn the stream on.
Yeah.
Right?
Go back.
Why do I go back?
Oh, is that what you, oh.
Oh, Bete, yo, an apology.
Do you have your driver's license on you? Do you have that? Do you have that on
Yeah,
your
I redid it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. That's very good.
Finish.
That on your driver's license.
Oh, wow.
So it's coming. So rather you go to the DMV.
So now you have to sit here and ask
Maybe it's
questions.
six.
No, I did during the stream.
Oh my God.